This is Nesson, your New England sports network.
For the second time in 3 seasons, the Green Wave of Greenfield has rolled over their opponents to a perfect season. But last time, they failed to achieve the ultimate goal, a Super Bowl championship. Now they're out to reach the pinnacle of high school football success. Behind the running of Mark Bellemure and Mark High, Greenfield has run up over 26 points a game. But today, they're walking into Springfield Cathedral's home turf. With the Super Bowl game being held here at Springfield, the Panthers have to feel a bit of a home field advantage. They, too, have an explosive offense. They're a threat to score from anywhere on the field. With a defense which allows less than a touchdown a game, Cathedral can get it done on both sides of the ball. Coming up, a battle of Western Massachusetts powerhouses. The Greenfield Green Wave and the Springfield Cathedral Panthers clash for Division I West Super Bowl championship on Nesson. Live from Springfield, the New England Sports Network presents the MIAA Championship Television Series. Today, the MIAA Western Division I Super Bowl Championship as Greenfield faces Springfield Cathedral. Hi again, everybody. I'm Joe Castiglione, along with longtime Springfield broadcaster Jack O'Neill, welcoming you here to Springfield College. Jack, a cold day. This artificial turf is hard, but the wind should not really be a factor.
No, the wind really shouldn't be for this game, Joe. It's been very calm, but I think what you said about the cold is very important. It is a very cold day. The temperature at game time is going to be about 15 degrees, and these teams are going to have to keep warm to function.
Well, we don't know which club it'll favor, but it really is a David against Goliath type battle here in that Cathedral outweighs Greenfield in the line by more than 30 pounds a man.
It's really amazing, the size difference between these two teams and the fact that they're both playing in the Super Bowl because they're so close in talent. What's going to happen very simply is Cathedral is going to tell Greenfield and anybody else who cares to ask what they want to do, we're going to run the ball. We're going to get our line, we're going to have them move, and we're going to knock you out of the way.
But they met earlier this year in the regular season. Greenfield beat Cathedral 32-7, which is very tough to explain.
It really is, except for a couple of things. One, Aaron Hunter of Cathedral, one of the best defensive players in Western Massachusetts, was not playing in that game. And secondly, Cathedral said they were a bit flat, but also Greenfield played a smart football game. They got out in front, made Cathedral take chances, and that's really what they want to do today. They have to do something a little bit different and keep Cathedral off balance.
Well, Greenfield likes to throw the ball maybe 50% of the time. They have two quarterbacks in Brody Conant and number 22, Kyle Phelps, will play wide receiver and also defense when he's not a quarterback.
Kyle Phelps is one fine football player, the winner of the Dagenet Award as the top football player in Western Massachusetts this year. He's a very special athlete, and he's got to have a good game if Greenfield is going to come up with a win today.
As we mentioned, Greenfield much smaller than the Cathedral Panthers, who suffered their only loss to Greenfield. They wound up 7-1, and they've got, in addition to Hunter, who's being recruited by major powers around the country, an excellent two-way player in Steve Miller.
Oh, Steve Miller is just a fine football player for the Panthers, and he will go both ways for them. He's smart, he's got enough size, and he's quick, and that is going to make anybody sit up and take notice.
Well, this is the home field of the Cathedral Panthers, and Greenfield has not played on turf this year.
No, they haven't, and that may be a point today because as this artificial surface, as good as it is now, gets colder, it may freeze a bit. The turf shoes should take care of it, but again, if there's going to be an advantage with this turf, it's got to go to Cathedral.
Cathedral against Greenfield coming up. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a minute.
I realized something when I started Sullivan Tire many years ago. It wasn't enough to offer the best parts and tires. My customers expected more. They wanted to walk into a Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Center and be helped with personal family service.
At any of our locations, you will be treated with our family spirit, because that's what Sullivan Tire is all about.
The Goodyear Arriva, now on sale starting as low as $39.95.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Centers, who are proud to be part of this MIAA Championship Series, because hometown spirit is what Sullivan Tire is all about. Well, the lights are on here at Benedum Field, the artificial turf, only 2 years old, so it's in very good condition, although it may get slippery on this very chilly afternoon. Greenfield is undefeated. 16 degrees the temperature reading. The wind not really a factor, but we could have some precipitation. And as cold as it is, it'd have to be in the form of snow before this one is over. Again, these two clubs met earlier this year with Greenfield winning it 32-7. Springfield Cathedral is the defending Division I champ. With us in the booth is Coach Frank Tudrin from Northampton High. And Frank, your club beat Cathedral in '86 and then lost to them last year. This is pretty much the same Cathedral team?
Well, no, they had a lot of seniors last year. This is supposed to be a rebuilding year. They've done an excellent job to get back here.
And they play a power game primarily.
Yes, they got to defend the off tackle. And you got to defend the big fullback, and Miller's having a great year.
Greenfield has never won a Super Bowl. They're 0-4. They've lost 3 Western Division Super Bowls, and they lost in the early 70s as well, Jack O'Neill.
That's right, Joe. They lost one when it was Western Mass against Central Mass, and then 3 here. And they would certainly like to beat this man, Billy Wise, who is the coach of Cathedral. And there is a tradition to Bill Wise coaching a Cathedral football team that we'll talk about as this game progresses. It goes back almost 50 years at this school here in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Mark Hyde is the man who kicks off for Greenfield, and they've been known to attempt an onside kick or two in unusual situations. Greenfield won the toss but deferred to the second half, so Cathedral is receiving. Panthers await Hyde's kick, and he lines it on a couple of hops, and Murphy picks it up. Keith Murphy crossing the 20, finds a seam and drives up close to the 30-yard line before he's brought down. Josh Mason, a freshman, made the tackle, number 15.
Keith Murphy came very close to breaking that for some significant yardage, Joe. He picked that ball up and just some great acceleration when he got to about the 15-yard line, and there were a couple of people that were really just good to grab him. You see this Cathedral offense, it is big, it is tough, and this young man, Aaron Hunter, the left tackle, you're going to have to watch him. He's going to be opening some holes today. Greenfield, watch for this group to be stunting. Desautels, Hyde, and the rest of them. They'll be doing a lot, trying to get Cathedral off balance during this football game this afternoon.
Mark Hyde into the tackle against Steve Miller, the tailback, who drives straight ahead. A much lighter Greenfield defense, outweighed by almost 30 pounds per man.
Sure are. You watch these linebackers led by Bell Humer and the safeties. They'll be moving up. They may show as much as a 6-man front at some points to Cathedral just to try to get them a little bit off their game. If they get into a power game, they've got a problem.
2nd and 8. Again, Miller gets the call and drives straight ahead. Loose ball, and does the Green have it? No, they don't. It may have been blown dead before he lost the ball. In any event, a short game.
The official did make the signal that the ball was down, and we'll take a look at it now. The handoff, good hitting. You notice they're getting low, trying to negate the size of Cathedral. The ball came loose, and it is Cathedral's ball. The Panthers fortunate to pick it up for this 3rd down play.
Mark Bernier in on the stop. So it's 3rd down, about 7 to go at the Cathedral 33-yard line, just underway. Opening quarter of the Western Division I championship. Rudy drops back, throws out to the sideline, and it's caught out there by John Powers, and he has a 1st down. John Powers running a little sideline route there, Coach, and Matt Zrenik made the tackle.
That's a typical Cathedral pass formation, timing pattern to number 80, John Powers, 7-step out, complete for a 1st down.
Good move by Powers to know exactly where he had to go. He got that 1st down by just over a yard, which is all he wanted to do. And as you noticed on that replay, the Cathedral offensive line was giving enough pass protection to Garrodi to allow him to really look for his receiver and make the timing play work.
We got a wide out right as Miller drives over the 40 up to about the 45-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 42, so it's a 3-yard gain. That'll make it 2nd down and 7 for the Panthers. And really, other than that one pass play on 3rd down, they've gone straight ahead trying to use that power to their advantage.
No big surprise in what they are doing and what they said they were going to do. They just want to start blowing Greenfield off the line of scrimmage.
Well, now they got 2 tight ends in there.
Yep.
With a wide out to the right.
Here's their offense.
Crossing the 45, crossing midfield, and driving for a 1st down. He made the first down by about a yard, down to about the 48-yard line of the Green Wave. So 2 first downs picked up quickly here as Garuti, the quarterback, has a brief discussion with head coach Bill Wise Jr.
Powers is back in, Joe.
Steve Miller, the fullback linebacker, he is a big kid, 6'1", 215, and he's fast. And he is a young man that remembers the Super Bowl for last year when he rushed for almost 100 yards. It was a big moment for him. He wants to do it again.
He finds a seam and drives down to the 35-yard line of the Green Wave. Sean Hannon in on the stop, number 50 for Greenfield. Now that surge by the front line, Coach.
It was what they call their blast play. They lead the fullback up and they give it to the second man through the tailback.
So, first down at the 36-yard line. Again, the Springfield Cathedral team was beaten by Greenfield 32-7 back in September. Garuti fires for Powers. He turns in and makes the catch and nearly broke it. Very close to going all the way, but Zronic made the tackle around the ankles.
If Cathedral was looking for a confidence-building drive to let them know they could do something, they've got it. There is a timing play. Turn, pass, Powers has it, and it was a saving tackle that might have prevented a touchdown on that play.
Greenfield stunted 8 people that time, and the cornerback was about 7-8 yards off.
Garuti is basically a drop-back passer, and he coaches no runoff.
Correct. He's basically 3-step drop-back.
So he's at the 23-yard line as Miller gets the call and is stacked up early by Mark Bernier. Good tackle by the 6', 205-pound linebacker. Basically 44 defense for Greenfield.
We'll play an 8-man front. Now when they get down this end of the field, they'll start stunning. They'll sending either 6 or 8 people on every play.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see how they do this with the stunts, because they can't be facing Cathedral man for man all day long. They'll wear down the line.
3rd and 2 at the 28. Garuti wants to throw. Pump fakes. Got a man open. It's Powers, and he couldn't hang on. It was thrown a little bit behind him. Then on the coverage was Matt Zronic again.
Matt Zronic certainly saved a touchdown on that play, Joe. The pump fake drew in just about everyone, and Powers made the move, and frankly, I thought he had the ball and was gone. There's the pump fake that took in everyone, and you see he had about 2 steps, and just as it was coming down, Zronic was on the tackle and jarred the ball loose for an incompleted pass.
Now, Cathedral does have a long-range field goal kicker in Dustin Pino. And Coach Bill Wise says he'd use him anywhere from 50 yards in. He just missed a 45-yarder against Westfield last Saturday.
In practice, they said he's gone over 50 yards.
Greenfield, on the other hand, has no kicking game at all in terms of points after field goals. They have not tried a placement all year.
That's correct. They are going to go for 2 points if they do score a touchdown, and they have not attempted a field goal at all.
You're looking at Coach Bill Wise Jr. now talking to his team, and he's told them what to do. Now, Bill Wise is the second Bill Wise who coached Cathedral. Years ago, names like Nick Buonaconti, Joe Schiavelli, people would know, were coached by Bill's father, Bill Wise Sr., who was absolutely a legend in coaching circles in Massachusetts. As a matter of fact, his father had been inducted into the Massachusetts High School Coaches Hall of Fame several years ago.
4th down 2. Ball at the 28-yard line of Greenfield, and they will go for the first down here.
It's a power eye set.
It'd be that blast play your coach referred to earlier. Garuti gives it to Miller. He tries to blast ahead, and the second effort gives him the first down. It looked like they had him stop, but Miller turned nicely, churning those legs, and he's a power runner.
He certainly is.
The play you called, Joe, is a blast play with 2. This time, instead of 1 lead back, they had 2 lead backs with a power eye.
Keith James in on the stop.
Now they're going to substitute again. Bring out 82.
Greg Whittier, tight end, leaves. They have 2 tight ends, Lloyd Cameron the other when they go to that alignment. They have a wide out to the far side, bobble snap, and the penalty marker goes down.
I think it's going to be motion on Cathedral. The tailback was moving before the ball was hiked.
So then it would be a dead ball foul.
Right.
Against Cathedral, you see the referee's indication right now. Talking it over with the Greenfield folks as Mark Garritti is over to see Bill Wise and say, what are we going to do, Coach?
Got a very brave referee here working in shirt sleeves.
Oh. And I know
He's famous for that.
Many football players question the wisdom of referees, and if you see him out there right now, I might be doing it myself.
All right. It's second down, 14, so they were able to decline the call. Miller blasting ahead, going over the 25, down to about the 23. So a yard beyond the original line of scrimmage, which will make it third down and 9.
Miller is already over the 30-yard rushing mark so far, and we still have about 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Last year in the Super Bowl, he rushed for 91 yards and called it his biggest thrill in his high school football career. He may have a bigger thrill this year the way he's going.
8 carries for 36 yards for Miller. He's staying warm.
He sure is.
Third down, 9 to go. Rudy looking, and on a time pattern, throws into the end zone, incomplete. David Brooks had it in his arms and couldn't hang on. David Brooks had a couple of steps on his man, Kyle Phelps, but
that had touchdown written all over it, Joe. And you watch it, it'll be coming right at you on the screen. Garruti just lays it out, and it appears Brooks has his man beaten. And there it is, and it just pops out. Give one to the weather right there. And Greenfield dodges a major bullet from Cathedral. It would have been 6-0.
A well-thrown ball. Cathedral will go for the first down on 4th and 9. They converted on 4th down, their last opportunity. Again, Garruti looks now forced out of the pocket, in trouble, and Greenfield is held as Mark Hyde and Mark Bellhumer make the tackle.
And that's what I was saying before. That was their 8-man stunt.
Yeah.
Bellhumer came from the outside. Hyde, again, as one of the down tackles, had a great pass rush.
Bellhumer is one of these guys that's going to have a big day if Greenfield is going to hold off Cathedral. The 6-foot, 185-pound senior has been in the middle of a number of plays today, and you can see him making the play on Garruti right there, and that is given Greenfield possession of the ball.
Looked like Keith Murphy was open downfield, but he was flushed out of the pocket, and the quarterback never saw him.
Nothing you can do if he's not there.
All right, Greenfield relying on quickness, and they like to put it up. Brody Conant is the quarterback. And he pitches back to Kyle Phelps, trying to turn the corner, and gets about 6 or 7 yards. Good spurt by Phelps, who lines up at split end. He'll play quarterback and also play at a wingback position.
That's a new formation for Greenfield.
There's the offensive line of Greenfield that's going to be working on Cathedral all day. LaCoy, Hannon, Bernier, Mason, and Kilgore. They're the guys up front. And then Cathedral's defense, George Vigneault, Aaron Hunter, number 56. Watch him, Tom Ray and Joe Castro. And the rest of that defensive secondary with the linebacking core, they're going to be pretty busy today.
2nd and 2. Here's the pump fake. The misdirection play is stopped. There's a big hit made there on Mark Bellhumer.
Greg Whittier is the man who finally made that play on Bellhumer there.
And David Brooks hit him first.
Yes.
So that'll set them back to close to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 9 at the 23.
Good reaction by David Brooks, who stayed home and watched that play develop, and he kept them in the backfield in time for the play to be made.
The 25 is Bellhumer, leading rusher. Phelps is at quarterback now, wants to put it up in the option, scrambling, in trouble. Turns upfield and gets to about the 32-yard line, well short of the first down. John Powers made the stop, so they switch quarterbacks quickly, and that was designed to be a passing play, though, Coach.
That's right. They like to roll. When number 22 is a quarterback in passing situations, they want to roll him out outside, give him the option of running or throwing. Now, Cathedral's made an adjustment on defense, too. They brought big 86 Lloyd Cameron on a down tackle.
4th and about 8. Mark Hyde is the punter. He averages around 40 yards a kick.
He's an excellent punter. In fact, he has great height.
Marvin Johnson back deep. Here's the snap. And it bounces at the 38-yard line. Well covered. It gets a good bounce on this very hard turf and rolls out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So Markay with a good kick and prevents a return, and we have a penalty marker down. An offside call against Cathedral, but it would not give Greenfield enough for the first down. They may well decline it.
160,000 students participate in more than 80,000 high school sports competitions among an MIAA's 352 member schools. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association encourages you to support your local high school athletic programs and the students who participate in them.
Well, Cathedral held the ball for 8 minutes, 5 seconds and had nothing to show for it. So Greenfield bent but did not break.
That they did, and Cathedral is going to go back to work again, and they've got a ways to go. They've got the ball on their own 27-yard line. 3 minutes, 55 seconds remained in the first quarter of this Division I Super Bowl game, and Mark Garuti brings his team out, and off they go.
It's Miller again on that blast play going up over the 30-yard line. Cathedral held the ball for 6 minutes, I beg your pardon. Of course, Greenfield had one series and out. Here in the first quarter at the 31-yard line, Matt LaCoy made the tackle. 3 minutes, 35 seconds to go. It'll be a second down and about 6 to go for a Cathedral first down.
And Cathedral is certainly living up to advanced billing, Joe. They're doing some passing, but they're running it between the tackles now, and they're just saying to Greenfield, try to stop us.
Garuti looking for Powers, can't find him, and down he goes. Second sack of the day by the Green Wave. Jason Kilgore led the charge.
That was what we call
Mason in there too.
That's what we call a coverage sack, because the two outside cornerbacks for Greenfield did an excellent job on the receivers. They were covered, and the pressure up the middle got to the quarterback.
Miller came out of the backfield. He was there to block initially, and actually maybe to draw the defense by him.
By that time, though, Garuti had some other problems. Garuti, I should say, had some other problems. And that was about 4 Greenfield defenders ready to land on him.
Third down, about 15 to go for the first down. And here he is, the fullback, finding an opening, getting up over the 30 and up to about the 33-yard line. Kyle Phelps making the tackle on Tom Ray, 5'10", 185-pound fullback linebacker. So the punting unit comes on. And Greg Whittier is the punter. The tight end, number 82. Bill Humer back deep.
Now this is where number 22,
Phelps, rather.
Phelps is really dangerous. He's returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns this year, and you have to have great coverage on him. He'll use the whole field here.
He seems to have excellent instincts in what we've seen of him in the first quarter of this game. Even on the sack, when he was knocked back, he was making Cathedral work to get at him.
Good snap to Whittier. And he pops it up. It'll bounce and probably will not be returned, and it takes a reverse bounce in Cathedral or in Greenfield's favor, and Greenfield has it in Panther territory. A short punt, that one covering just about 15 yards.
That's right. It's the ball hit and bounced back, too. This is a key series for Greenfield. They got good field position now. They're across the 50.
And here's a perfect shot of that punt as it comes at you. You see number 22, Phelps, waiting for it.
And popped it up, called the infield fly on that one.
He sure did.
All right, here back to live action. Conant to throw, and it is batted down by big number 55 in white. Batted down by Cathedral.
At that time...
Or was it Aaron Hunter, 56? It was Aaron Hunter.
It was Aaron Hunter, yeah.
He's the man Michigan and Penn State were in to meet with this week.
Yep, they're going to be talking to him as soon as the football season is over, as well as several other schools around the country that would like to take a look. And here's the pass, and all of a sudden the hands come up, and there he is, Aaron Hunter. Good anticipation, and knock that down. He's going to be a good one in college.
Ball at the Cathedral 46, 2nd and 10. Man in motion is Phelps. Conant the quarterback. And here comes Hyde, forced back by Hunter and dropped at the 49. Aaron Hunter, who is 6'3", 245 pounds. And he was not in the game when Greenfield hosted Cathedral earlier this year.
No, he didn't play. And I think that many people were saying before the game, Greenfield is just not going to run anywhere near him. And here's a reason why. He fights off his block and has no problem in making the tackle.
Third down and about 13 at the 49-yard line of Cathedral. High formation now. Phelps goes in motion to the near side of the field. Conant dropping deep. Now he wants to set up a screen. Hyde has it. He's at midfield. Makes a good move getting away from Hunter and driving down to about the 43-yard line. He'll be about 7 yards shy of a first down.
Give some credit to Mark Bernier of Greenfield, who just leveled Hunter on a block that allowed Greenfield to pick up an extra 8 or 10 yards on that play. Bernier just got him just as he was turning and put an excellent block on Aaron Hunter, a young man who says that one of the people he would like to meet most of all is Tony Mandrich, who is now playing for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, the way he's going, he might go head-to-head with Mandrich sometime.
That could very well be.
Murphy, 21, dropping back as the first quarter is winding down. It'll be close whether they get the snap off or not. The wind is not a factor, so that is of little consequence. And that's it. The first quarter is over. The score here at Springfield College, Springfield Cathedral nothing and Greenfield nothing. We'll be right back.
Offering the utmost in quality and friendly personalized service is the family spirit that Sullivan Tire is all about. Why is providing the best in tires and car care so important to Sullivan Tire?
Because I'm Bob Sullivan, and I want it that way.
The Goodyear Arriva, now on sale starting as low as $39.95.
You're watching the MIAA Championship Television Series on Nesson.
Welcome back here to frigid Springfield College. No score, although the Cathedral Panthers have dominated. A fourth down situation coming up for Greenfield at the Cathedral 43-yard line, and they did have the punting unit on. Joe Castiglione here along with Jack O'Neill and Coach Frank Tudrin from Northampton. Jack, not that you're playing favorites today, but you are a Cathedral grad and a former Cathedral player.
Yeah, I did play for Cathedral back in the 60s, Joe, and obviously my heart is with them. But you watch a game like this, and you know the spirit behind the Greenfield team, where the community turned out for a rally in downtown Greenfield last night, and I would say there were at least 2,000 people that made the trip about 45 miles to Springfield for this game. And there is an awful lot of emotion riding on it. And you look at some of the rushing today, Greenfield's got to rectify that if they want any hope of winning today. They've got to get some yards rushing.
Pretty much what we anticipated. Hyde to punt. Twin safeties back for Cathedral. They didn't get a chance to return the last punt. He drives it away from the coverage man toward the sideline. It's going to have a good bounce and perhaps roll out of bounds. It does roll out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, right around the 6. So Mark Hyde with his second good punt, again helping Greenfield get field position.
Well, Cathedral certainly has the length of the field in which to work now, and they've got to put together a long and sustained drive if they want to score. And there is a punter's dream as it lands and kicks right out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. Absolutely perfect. No problem with a run back there.
Hyde's had punts of 43 and 42 yards, and neither has been returned. So Cathedral 94 yards away from pay dirt. First and 10 at its own 6. Rudy, the quarterback, out of the power eye, and here comes Miller again, going off tackle, cutting back inside and driving over the 10. Some tough yards picked up by Steve Miller, who this season scored a total of 7 touchdowns and 44 points.
Miller is certainly a workhorse of their offense, Joe, and he's a young man that certainly thrives on it. And that's what he wants to do, and they're more than willing to oblige and give him that ball.
Mark Rudy, the quarterback, 6 feet, 175 pounds, says the man he'd most like to meet is Mozart.
Really?
That might be tough to arrange.
Well, at least in the next couple of weeks it would be.
Again, straight ahead goes Miller, and he's very close. I believe he has the first down, driving over the 15 and up to about the 17-yard line. You can see Coach Dupree, Coach Mike Dupree, in his 8th year at the helm. What kind of a temperament does Coach Dupree have on the sidelines, Frank?
Well, Mike has a reputation of being an outstanding motivator. He gets into it with the kids. He's very emotional. The kids love him. He's an outstanding coach.
He was short, so third down and less than a yard. He rolled a little bit, tough to pick up his forward progress. Greenfield seeking its first Super Bowl win. Had some tough luck in previous Super Bowls. Again, it's Miller. There's the first down, driving over the 20-yard line. Well, there's nothing fancy about what the Panthers are doing.
No, they're just lining up and using their size and their power in the backfield.
And there's where the first down was made. You see the right side of the Cathedral line. There was the hole. He had the first down, and then the rest was on his own as Miller went through on the right side of that Cathedral line, blocked down on the green wave, and just opened up a hole to get the first down.
Matt Zrunick, listed at 135 pounds, made the tackle on 205 pounds, Steve Miller. First and 10 at the 21. Again, off tackle goes Miller, driving ahead. Bellhumer in on the stop.
That was their two tight end offense again, using the power backfield and just going man on man.
See Poirier, Mason, Hannon. The Greenfield defense is working as best they can now, and you have to wonder what it's going to be like in the third and fourth quarters of this game with the pounding they may be taking from Cathedral.
Of course, if you continue to control the ball and don't score, it can get a little bit frustrating.
It can indeed. And I'm sure Cathedral is thinking right now, what do we have to do to really get this Greenfield team to break? They've got them bending from time to time, but they certainly do not have them breaking.
Second down, about 6 at its own 25 for Cathedral. Here's a pump fake. You're ready to throw. Got a man open, but it's incomplete. Keith Murphy had it on his hands and couldn't hang on. Phelps, number 22, in on the coverage. Good throw by Giroudi, and Murphy turned around, and a little bit difficult when you try to catch the ball with your hands, even with gloves in a day like this, isn't it, Coach?
It certainly is, and that was their first action pass. They had a second down, and they ran an action pass, and they had 21 wide open. And again, a cold day, 13, 16 degrees. It makes it rough to catch the ball.
He turned himself around a little bit as he got that ball, and that might have caused him to drop it as it was coming down.
Right on the money. Should have been caught.
A couple of passes have been dropped in the open field today.
This is their pass formation now.
Two wide outs to the right, one to the left. He's looking left, throwing, and it is complete. And very close to a first down. Very close goes number 22 as Matt Zrunick again in on the tackle. David Brooks with a reception.
Matt Zornig showed some Brooks a little bit of respect there because he was laying off a good 5-6 yards on him when that pass was thrown.
And it is a first down.
And that gave him the room. You see when he catches the ball, then you will see Zornig come into the picture. He watched him who was laying off, but it was a little too late, and it's first down, Cathedral.
Panthers at the 34. Again, they come out in what has been that passing formation. Fullback Ray is carried once. Miller's been the workhorse that goes to the fullback, and Ray is knocked down by Alex Ciano at the 35-yard line after a gain of about a yard. Good hit by Ciano.
Ciano went down got him right by the ankles, and that was enough to take Ray down for a very little gain.
He's one of the bigger defenders, Alex Ciano, at 205 pounds. Tom Ray, 185-pound fullback at 5'10". And he'll take a breather.
It's the left quarterback, Matt Zrunick.
Tony Gamelli in to replace him. Number 34. So second down and still about 8 yards to go. Here's Miller finding an opening off tackle, breaking it at the 50. Zrunick slows him down, and the Green Wave makes the tackle after a long gainer by Steve Miller. Outstanding run by Miller.
Sure was.
First and 10.
And I've got to wonder if that was set up by the 3 wideouts that Cathedral sent on that play. Then watch the line. See them blocking right down? And Hunter is one of the guys blocking down on that line, springing Miller, and then it's just a foot race. And the tackle made.
26-yard gain.
And here's
excellent
the
blocking up front with Aaron Hunter.
Steve Miller, nicknamed Crash
Aaron
by
Hunter,
his teammates.
Joe Castro in there also.
Miller with 81 yards on 14 carries. 7:40 to go, first half, first and 10. And again, it's Miller. Driving to the 34. 7.5 to go in the half.
Cathedral's doing an excellent job of mixing their plays up in this drive, too. They've changed their formations. In the last formation, they used a pass formation. They ran off tackle, and they caught Greenfield in a pass defense. And they're getting a great job done by their people up front.
Garuti had a great for it with Coach Bill Wise. Steve Miller last year, Frank, ran for 91 yards in the Super Bowl against your team.
Yes, and he was at fullback then. And they were tough yards, and he's an excellent runner. He just would not go down.
And you're telling me this is a rebuilding year for Cathedral, right,
That's
Frank?
right. This
Wow.
is rebuilding.
2nd and 9. Miller straight ahead down to about the 30-yard line. He picked up 5 to 6 yards on the play. So that'll make it 3rd and about 4 to go for the first down.
And you watch the play there as Miller just goes right over center.
56, Aaron Hunter.
Yeah, Aaron Hunter
both
doing it
ways.
again. And what's interesting is a center for Cathedral, Matt Cowles, he's getting a lot of work now because some of the Greenfield people, as other teams will be trying to get away from Hunter. And Cowles is doing a good job at his blocking also, as well as obviously the snapping.
Again, Miller goes straight ahead over the 25 down to about the 23, enough for the first down. Well, they put Ray back in, the fullback, leading the way, Coach.
They're running right over Aaron Hunter again. They got Aaron at guard now. He normally has been playing tackle. They move him at guard, and they're running right over him.
Hunter and Cowles open it up just a bit, and boom, there goes Miller, and it's first down Cathedral.
Cathedral at the Greenfield 24, so it's the quickness against the power. So far, the power has dominated, but more importantly, the scoreboard says they're even. No score.
Remember that name, Aaron Hunter. You may be hearing it in a major college in a couple of years.
Same play again.
Same play with Miller down close to the 20. We have a penalty marker down on the far side of the field. Could be a motion call or an offside against one of the wideouts. It's a procedure penalty. So that'll set him back 5 yards. Coach, when you play this type of an offense, 5-yard penalty can be much more costly than it can be with a more wide-open attack, correct?
Definitely. There's a ground control attack, a 5-yard penalty. Now it's going to be 1st and long, 1st and 15.
Although Garuti has had a couple of key third down conversions with some short sideline routes that he's thrown. So it is first down and 15 at the 29.
Coach Bill Wise, you see the back of him there, telling his troops, get it together. I know procedure just drives him crazy. Doesn't like that at all.
Garuti with some good fakes, getting loose. He throws on the move, and he's got a man, but it's incomplete. In the hands of Powers. Good scramble by Garuti and an excellent throw on the run. He drilled it right in there.
He hit Powers right between the 8 and the 0, and I think Powers might have been a little surprised that the ball got there the manner it did.
Well, I think, too, is that he was looking at the defender. He took his eye off the ball a little here.
What a great move right there.
Brian Desautel with good pressure, number 88.
And he goes after the ball. Oh,
We're going to take a break here, a 60-second timeout.
tough break for the Panthers right there.
It's second down, 15 at about the 29, and Coach Bill Wise wants to talk to his troops. What about the personality of this Cathedral team as depicted by their coach, Bill Wise?
Well, Bill Wise is certainly a motivator, and he is a man who has had this team right at a fever pitch all week. This Cathedral team is angry. They want to avenge the loss to Greenfield, and they feel this is the best way to do it on the field. And I'm wondering when the frustration factor may come in, because it's still a scoreless game. Our coverage of the Mass High School Super Bowl continues right here on Nesson following this game. At 5, the Central Mass Division III Super Bowl. It's Bay Path against Northbridge. At 7 o'clock, the Super Bowl hopes of Division II Central opponents North Middlesex and Ayer are on the line. And at 9, our Super Bowl coverage winds up with the Central Mass Division I Championship between Leominster and Westboro. Don't miss all the action right here on Nesson.
Coach Frank Tudrin from Northampton is with us in the booth. Frank, your team gave Greenfield its toughest battle of the year, as you see that Cathedral has had ball control here. Your team lost 8-0. How did you handle Greenfield's offense?
Well, we did a lot of the things that Cathedral did. Basically, you have to cover their wideouts, take away the big play. And that's what they've done. They've taken away the big play, made them try to run the ball, and you can see they're not having good success. They've only got 5 offensive plays against the 28 of Cathedral in this first half.
Grennfield, despite the ball control of Cathedral, has had a rubber band defense. Garutti looking for Brooks. Now he's going to run with it at the 25. He's pulled down at about the 24-yard line. He's right around the original line of scrimmage as Brody Conant, who doubles between quarterback and strong safety, made the tackle, big number 9. Well, Garutti does not run often. This time he was forced to.
He got an invitation to take off that time when he saw his receivers were initially covered, and he doesn't do a bad job. Picked up about 6 yards on the play and gets it, as you say, Joe, back to the original line of scrimmage, bringing up a 3rd down and 10.
Quarterback tackling quarterback on that play. Several players on each club going both ways. Brooks wide to the right. Here's Garutti looking for a quick look in. Has Miller at the 10, the 5, and he scores. Who else? Steve Miller.
Stephen Miller took the pass right out of the backfield, turned around and headed for the end zone, and no one was going to stop him. And now Cathedral is on the board with 4 minutes and 28 seconds left in the first half of this Division I Super Bowl game. And you see many of the Cathedral fans pretty happy with what happened just now.
Coach?
This play here is designed for that coverage. Greenfield's in a 3-deep man. They had nobody coming to back out of the backfield. Steve Miller. It was a great pass.
His first touchdown reception of the year. David Brooks would attempt the extra point. He made his first 24 attempts this year before missing his last one against Westfield last Saturday. Well, he drills that one through there, and it is 7-0 Cathedral on top as Brooks is now 25 of 26 this year. Well, it's been the Miller show, but Garutti with that quick little looking pass to his tailback. Is that a look that has been seen much this season?
Not really. Cathedrals did that in the past, but what they've done in the past is take the back and put them out into the flat. This time they took Miller and they circled him right up the middle where the Greenfield middle linebacker was blitzing.
Touchdown coming with 4:28 to go in the first half as you watch Mark Garutti find Steve Miller, his tailback. He broke a tackle there by his running and went into the end zone.
That quick slant right in certainly helped for Cathedral. And Cathedral did what they wanted to do, get on the board first, and now they'll see if they can hold Greenfield again. The Green Wave is not going to take this lying down. You can believe that.
Miller had 7 touchdowns, all rushing and a 2-point conversion in the regular season, so 50 points on the year. He has been involved in 15 plays for 95 yards, a touchdown covering 24 yards. And it came on a 3rd and 10. So here's the long-range kicker to boot. Dustin Pino will kick. Hyde and Belhumer back. Back deep to receive. 4:28 left in the half. Getting dark. Of course, the lights on here at Springfield College. 7-0 Cathedral leading it. Fairly short kick, and Belhumer kicks it. Ball loose. Picked up by Greenfield. They may have fumbled it again, but the Green Wave maintains possession.
Boy, oh
Number
boy.
22, Kyle Phelps, picked that up, and he is stunned a little here.
He got banged, but did very well to keep possession for the Green Wave.
Greenfield is very fortunate to have possession of that ball. It was a short kick, and you see it now. A short kick, and there's the bounce right off of Belhumer's foot, and then just the braces on for the football.
And Phelps really alertly picking it up.
And he gets belted by John Powers. Here it is again. You see it come down short. It hits right off Belhumer's foot, and everybody's going after it. Phelps will pick it up. Here comes Powers. Bang.
Took a tough hop on the carpet here.
Sure did.
All right, they give it to the short man, Hyde, and he drives ahead to the 30-yard line. Gain of about 3 from Mark Hyde. And he lost the ball. Does Cathedral have it? Yes, they do. Tom Ray, inside linebacker and fullback, comes up with a loose ball. So Cathedral has it at the 28, 29-yard line.
Tommy Ray, a little fire plug of a guy, isn't he? But boy, he's come up big on a couple of plays for Cathedral today. You know, Tom Ray, who remembers the 1988 Super Bowl and says it was one of his biggest moments in sport, would certainly like to be a doctor, and the doctor's office hours are on this afternoon.
Man, does he have some calves on him? He is strong.
He spent some time in the weight room.
Sure
First
did.
and 10 as Garudi wants it all on a timing pattern to the end zone. Touchdown. Brooks has it for a touchdown. David Brooks, with single coverage against Phelps, took the pass in full stride. A great throw by Garudi, and all of a sudden it's 13-0 Cathedral.
How many times do you see it? A key turnover. A quarterback goes for it all, and Garudi did, and he found a man in the end zone. Cathedral now is up 13-0.
There's their three-step timing pattern. It's a perfect pass. Dropped it right over on the outside shoulder.
Good concentration to catch that ball right off his shoulder, and there wasn't much anybody could do about that. Touchdown, Cathedral, and they're now ahead 13-0, and David Brooks is one happy young man, and the extra point is coming up.
By Brooks, who else?
Yep.
And it is good, 14-0. The Panthers lead it. Brooks has scored 8 points today, 50 points on the season. He has 4 touchdowns. Brooks, who excelled against Westfield over Thanksgiving weekend, and it is 14-0 Cathedral. Brooks in the top 15% of his class, and he wants to get into bioengineering, chemical bioengineering.
Here's a great view of the touchdown pass as Garudi throws to Brooks, and you see Brooks following the ball, and as you can tell, there's just no way Phelps was going to get to that ball. Cathedral ahead 14-0, about 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half of this football game.
There's a key series for Greenfield here.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as important in terms of getting a score here, but now getting first downs, establish themselves before they go in at halftime.
Well, they really have not had a chance to get their passing game in gear. They like to throw the ball almost 50% of the time.
Greenfield has certainly some talented young men on that offensive side of the ball, but they've got to run it. You're right, Frank. They've just got to get the ball, make some first downs, establish themselves, and convince themselves, as well as Cathedral, that they can move the ball into Cathedral and right into that defense, and they've got to do it right now.
All right, here is Pino to kick off after a 29-yard touchdown pass from Mark Garudi to David Brooks. 4:10 to go in the half. Garudi is 5 of 9 for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bouncing kick picked up by High, crosses the 30, and is hit by Ray, spins away, but not for much further yardage. Aaron Hunter again on the stop, big number 56. This defensive front for Cathedral is huge. 210, 245, 230, 210, 228.
Certainly get your attention, wouldn't it?
Greenfield's front line, the tackle, 200, 170, 205, 175, and 180.
They're big, but they're also got good mobility.
And Hunter has been dominant, as we expected he would be. Conant, the quarterback, at his own 33 with a first down. He's looking for Phelps, flushed out of the pocket. Phelps with a nice turn, and he held the ball long enough. It is a reception. It bounced out of bounds on the fumble, but it should be a completion and pretty close to a first down.
Coach Bill Wise immediately on one of the officials trying to wave it off, saying, no, he didn't have possession. He didn't have possession. They were having none of that. It was first down Greenfield.
Nice pattern run by Phelps that time, Coach.
It was, and the thing is that they broke containment here. Conant gets outside, and then Phelps, number 22, breaks the pattern off to the outside. He actually wanted to run a post.
And you can tell by that replay, he certainly did have possession of the football before it was jarred from his hand.
It was a first down, the first for Greenfield this afternoon with 3:58 to go in the half. Got a slot to the left, and here is the wide receiver reverse to Phelps. Gets one block, but good containment, and he is dropped at the 41-yard line for a loss of 2.
Greg Whittier on the stop stayed home, which is what they want you to do. They'll tell you over and over, do not over-pursue on a play. Whittier was there, and by the time Phelps got there, after running about 75 yards across the field, Whittier was there to put him down for a loss on the play.
Second down, 12.
3:30 left in the first half of this football game.
One thing to watch with that reverse is that with Phelps carrying it there, they have a reverse pass.
And we could see that later on in the day.
And Phelps, of course, is a quarterback. Or has been. Blackty played a couple of plays there today. Here they go again. This time they fake it with Ciano keeping it, crossing the 40 and being forced out of bounds at the 44. And it looked like he had a bit of an opening there, but
number
they closed it
31,
quickly.
Marvin Johnson on that stop. And he put a stick on him.
Ciano faking on the wide receiver reverse. Powers missed him, but good tackle.
Here's Marv right there. Good move, good play, driving him right out of bounds, right into your coach's lap.
Marvin Johnson, the free safety, 5'10", 175 pounds. So it's third down and about 8 to go, close to the 45-yard line. Phelps in motion. Conant dropping straight back. Looks for a tight end, and he's got it. Desotels is over the 40 and down to about the 39-yard line, and a penalty marker goes down after the play.
It's not easy, but Greenfield is doing what Coach Tudrin said they had to do. Get some first downs and get themselves a bit of a drive going.
Brian Desotels saw his numbers the first time they found his way.
Joe. It's going to be called back. They got holding on Greenfield.
Looked like the flag went down after the receiver had been tackled.
And that one really hurts if it's coming back. There's Desatel, and he just dives in, gets first down yardage. But you're right, Frank, the play is coming back.
There must have been holding on the downfield in the play as opposed to the line pass blocking up front, because they marked it off from the spot where the completion was.
Yeah.
Because there was only one coverage out there. That was the receiver.
They put Phelps in motion that time to the left where the tight end was. Phelps went deep. As you can see here, and 88, the tight end did the out, and then we got the holding by number 22 on 31.
Okay, so it's third down and a long 2 to go for a first down. As they marked it from the spot of the foul just over midfield. And a quick call, and Conant, the quarterback, dives straight ahead. Quarterback keeper play as he tried to catch the defense on its heels, and he made it. First down.
Well, this is what Greenfield's going to have to do. Quick move, boom, and Conant has got the first down.
So they don't have any middle linebacker. Their linebackers are on the outside because they're so concerned about Greenfield's outside plays.
Now we found the gap there, took advantage of it with a quick counter. First and 10 at the 46. 2:29 to go first half. 14-0 Cathedral. Conant looking for Phelps. Now fires for Desotels, the up man, and overthrows him. Tight end on a crossing pattern.
Desotels has made some great catches for Greenfield all year long. He's been their clutch man on this deep out and the deep post pattern.
Got 5 TD catches and good size at 6'1", 210 pounds.
Brody Conant, the quarterback of Greenfield, is certainly not going to wilt under the pressure right now. Here's a guy that also plays basketball and baseball, and if he could be anybody, he says he'd like to be Bo Jackson, and one of the people he'd like to meet is Mike Tyson. So that shows you kind of where his priorities are. He's a tough kid.
Not in the ring, we presume.
No, I hope not.
Conant on 2nd and 10 with a deep drop, perhaps trying to set up a screen. He's being flushed out, throws on the move, and throws it away in the general direction of Phelps, who was covered downfield by Powers.
I'll tell you, when Conant was coming to the sideline, big Lloyd Cameron from Cathedral was just bearing down on him, and if he'd ever tried to tuck that ball and run, the collision would have been heard halfway back to Greenfield. It's a good thing he got rid of that ball. Did you see the play here? Here comes Cameron, and he's saying, I got you, I got you, I got you. He let the ball go, and then Cameron wisely let up. And the incompletion onto the sideline.
Cameron at 235 can move.
Yes, he can.
And he's only a junior.
Wow. He had some huge strides. Timeout call by Greenfield. They have a 3rd and 10 at the 36-yard line. There you see Coach Mike Dupree, and most of you coaches, Frank, are normally trying the blues, especially before a season begins. But Mike Dupree, we understand, predicted a Super Bowl win even before the season got underway.
Yeah, he caused quite a stir with that because a lot of people thought they were going to have good teams this year, too. But Mike has confidence in his people, and he had a lot of returning people back. Had 13 seniors returning from last year's squad that tied for the league lead last year.
High school sports provide an extension of the classroom. Students learn to pursue excellence, work with others toward a common goal, play within the structure of established rules, plus discipline, loyalty, and emotional control. The MIAA urges you to support these values and our young people by attending high school competition in your community.
14-0, Greenfield trailing. And looks like he's got some of his plays written on his left hand, coach. He's got some tape on the wrist there.
Yes, they are running their plays back and forth, and he's going to read the signal off from the coach. I think the key here is where is number 22 going to line up in his formation.
Now we'll look for Phelps, and I don't see him in there at the moment.
Yeah,
there he is in motion. He was lined up at tailback, now in motion wide to the near side. A mix-up, and Hyde got the ball and is dropped in his own territory. Mark Hyde hit by Tony Capua, the 208-pound tackle.
It's not the best of situations if you're a running back and one of the defensive players arrives at the same time as the ball, and that's what can happen to you.
That was what we call a quick trap. It was off a draw play. And the problem was they didn't seal back here.
They missed the
block. The trap was actually there, but the backside defender got through.
We talk about Cathedral's size, but obviously they've got some speed because he just beat the block of Bernier. Everything was all set, but it just he was just too fast in there.
You see the time left in the half. Greenfield wants a timeout with a 4th down and 14 situation just inside midfield. They may want to go for it.
Cathedral is a team that brought their own portable heaters here today. They have a couple on the sidelines, and that's one of the more popular gathering spots for guys that have come off the field. Greenfield did not.
Also, some of the trainers and helpers on the sideline are taking advantage of it more than the players, actually.
Sort of like when the buffet's out in the press box, eh, Joe? You see a lot of people you've never known before.
A lot of good friends trying to stay warm.
Sure. Now, Greenfield is in an unusual position. I mean, here's a team that has scored over 30 points 4 times this season, and they're in danger of being shut out in the first half. And if Billy Wise has his way, they will do that because they've shut out teams 4 times this season. 2 very intense coaches in this game, Frank.
Oh, yes. This is the media attention all week long, the alumni coming back, and it gets everybody focused right in on this is a big game of the year for both sides.
Now, Greenfield, a huge following here, whole town behind this Green Wave team. And they're going to go for it on 4th and 14 at midfield. They have Phelps lined up at tailback. Now he's in motion at the near side, the right side. Conant dropping back. Looking long. He's got Ciano. Had a hand on it. Incomplete. Good coverage downfield by David Brooks. Has done it all with his place kicking, his touchdown reception, and now breaking up this play. Good throw by Conant, but Springfield Cathedral will have it at midfield with 1:23 to go in the half.
That was a good call by Greenfield. Looking at it here, he's going to drop back, Conant. He's going to look to the front side, number 7, Ciano, deep on a deep post.
It sure was, and for a moment, I think another stride, and he would have been all alone, and that would have been a completion.
Very well thrown ball. So 1:23, we'll see what the Panthers do. They started with a power game, but they've been opening it up, and Garudi drops back under some pressure. He fires for Brooks, and Brooks, did he hang on? I think he did.
Amazing catch.
David Brooks with double coverage with a great catch.
Brooks and Phelps got into a fight over the football as they were both in the air, and when they came down on the ground, it was Brooks that yanked it away from Phelps, and Cathedral is knocking on the door again.
So, long gainer as Garudi with an excellent throw on the move down to the 20-yard line. 1:05 to go, and Cathedral has its full complement of timeouts. 1st and 10 at the 20. Garudi again looking.
Same pattern, other side.
Brooks, and he makes a great catch for a touchdown. Brooks over the smaller defenders, Rennick for a touchdown.
Brooks just extended himself right over Zoni for that touchdown, and lightning has struck again.
20 to
Number 80,
nothing
John
Cathedral.
Powers made that catch, Joe.
John Powers, 6'1", 190 pounds. John Powers. Brooks caught the one that brought it to the 20, and now Powers with a leaping catch in the end zone.
It was the same pattern to the other side, the timing pattern to the wide receiver, John Powers. Excellent catch.
So David Brooks, who's got a touchdown and 2 points after, attempts another. And somebody got a hand on it, but it's good anyway. So he is now 27 of 28 this year. And Garuti in the air, 7 of 11 for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns for the senior quarterback, Mark Garuti.
Not very happy, is he, Joe? Look at him.
Well, he'll enjoy halftime here. 21-0, Cathedral on top.
He's passed for 130 yards in the first half.
Coach, they started out just blasting away, and did that help open up this passing game?
Yes, definitely. He's looked back here in the replay in his last play, the touchdown pass. It's a 3-step drop. The fade pass to number 80, John Powers. He goes up right over the shorter defender. The defender he's going against only 5'5". So it's a mismatch in height. And Powers makes a great catch.
You know, Coach, if somebody were just tuning in now and sees it's 21-0 and say, well, Greenfield can't be playing all that well, I think Cathedral is probably just playing an absolutely perfect half of football. Greenfield is not doing anything particularly wrong. It's just they've run into a buzzsaw right now against Cathedral.
Yes, because one thing happens when you start establishing something. When Cathedral came out, established their ground game, that forced Greenfield to make some adjustments, and then Cathedral made some good adjustments on their own. The pass to Steve Miller out of the backfield took advantage of the blitzing that they were doing. And then what happened now in the last series, Greenfield had to lay off because of the fear of the back out again.
Sure.
It was a 20-yard touchdown pass from Garuti to that man, John Powers, senior 190-pounder. Cathedral called timeout. I don't know whether that was to prevent a penalty or whether they planned something unusual here in the kickoff. You wouldn't think so with 51 seconds left.
Well, Cathedral squib kicked it the last 2 times here, and I think they'll do the same thing here again. The squib kick is excellent on the turf. The ball bounces all over the place. And with this amount of time left, you definitely don't want to return here.
John Powers, who caught that touchdown pass, has been on the honor roll several times at Cathedral. Academically, he's a very bright young man. So his goal in college, I think, will be attained if he can play some football and still hit the books as well as he does.
Following in your footsteps, Jack, at Cathedral.
No comment, sir.
Well, Pino lines it, and it's caught by Belhumer, who gets over the 30-yard line. He's been pretty well contained. A decent return, though, up to the 32, but only 46 seconds remain to be played in the first half with Cathedral on top 21-0 again. Greenfield beat Cathedral in the regular season early back on the 23rd of September, 32-7.
You see Belhumer trying to figure out exactly where he's going to go, then stick his head down, as all good runners do, and take what he can. Frank, what do you do now? If you're the coach of Greenfield, you're going to bring your team in at the halftime. They're going to be down, you would think, by 3 touchdowns. What do you say to them?
Well, I think you've got to start thinking of some of the positive things that's happened here. We made some mistakes, got some turnovers, but we've got a whole half left. And a team that they've been down before, because Greenfield's been down behind, I think, 4 times in this year, and they've come back and won.
Desertels a little bit short on the diving attempt. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with 39 seconds to go in the first half. So they scored from long range here 3 times, Cathedral has. They had a couple of long drives that did not produce a score, and then 3 long-range touchdowns.
There's a man with a lot on his mind, Mike Dupuis, the head coach of the Green Wave of Greenfield, and I would imagine you're right, Frank. He's going to tell them, look, you can do this. They did it to you. You can do it right back to them.
Now they called Hyde's number, and he drives over the 35 to about the 37 with the clock ticking and 30 seconds left in the half. And Greenfield wants time. 29 seconds to go. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 to go. Certainly they don't want Cathedral to get another shot at the ball, not the way Cathedral's struck so quickly on the passing.
Not on these one-play drives, Joe. You're absolutely right. Cathedral has proven in this half that they are willing and, of course, able to strike from most any place on the field, and that's something that Greenfield has got to take into account. It is not the way that Greenfield wanted the first half of this football game to go. It is certainly the way Coach Billy Wise wanted it to go, but I don't know if even the fans of Cathedral expected the score to be 21-0 at the half of this game.
3rd down, 6.
I think, Jack, you're absolutely right here. Cathedral's come out. They played really inspired ball. They got off the ball. They controlled the line of scrimmage. They made some great plays. They dropped some passes, but they didn't let it affect them. They came right back.
They have a gadget play here other than the wide receiver around.
Well, Greenfield's basic offense is they have a lot of gadget plays. Halfback pass. This is the bootleg.
Phelps at quarterback, looking long. Throwing downfield, and a good catch made by Conant, the other quarterback. Quarterback throwing to quarterback, a wide receiver to quarterback. Conant, the primary quarterback, made the catch at the 24. So there are 21 seconds left in the half. A long gainer. 29 yards on the catch. Greenfield will have to push it into the end zone. They have no kicking game at all.
Boy, Brody Conant did a great job in catching that ball, because when it was thrown, that was dying about halfway out. You watch it, and Phelps throws it, and just as it gets to its pinnacle, that baby is dying right there, and Conant sees it. Watch him pull up, stop, jump, and catch it.
Made the catch.
So makes the catch, and there is hope for the Green Wave before the half.
They're at the 24-yard line, but they'll have to punch it in with the 21 seconds showing on the clock, and they are out of timeouts. Now, they do have one left. They do have one timeout left.
I think from where they are, Joe, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a few passes heading for the end zone right now.
Again, Conant comes out to the right. So he's playing at wide receiver. Phelps has played wide receiver much of the year. Now he's the quarterback. A little bit more mobile
same
back
play
there.
the other side.
Rolling left. He wants it. Oh, and he's got a touchdown. Desitels with the catch. Brian Desitels with the catch as Phelps rolls out and throws a 24-yard strike to Desitels, and Greenfield scores 21-6.
And if you want to see a happy group of people, look on the sidelines of Greenfield. The team, the coaches, and the fans, it's like they've had an injection of adrenaline. They're on the board in the last minute of the half, and it's something that they wanted to do. A happy group that has come down from Greenfield as Greenfield has put itself right back into this football game.
And again, they will have to go for two. They've been very successful this year. They have not attempted a kick all year. They always go for two, and they've made it over 80% of the time.
Should have Kyle Phelps at quarterback here, and they usually run some type of option with him.
He is indeed the quarterback out of the power I. Conant wide out. Phelps sprinting out. And looked like he wanted to keep, and now the ball pops up, and it is no good.
Joe, they came back with the bootleg again. That's the play they've run the last 3 times.
And John Powers absolutely cranked Phelps as he tried to find somebody open in the end zone at about the 3-yard line.
So it's 21-6 with 12 seconds left in the half as you watch Phelps throw to Desitels.
Here comes the touchdown with Phelps rolling out to his right. He gets away from the initial coverage, has time, and lets it go. And a nice catch. He had 2 men going back there. And there is the touchdown for the Green Wave of Greenfield. But the extra point is no good, so it is a 21-6 football game.
Here's the reverse angle on this. Same play, touchdown. Great catch by the tight end.
Phelps is throwing with gloves on.
Boy, DeSalt has turned around about 1.5 times, so that'd be a 1.5 with a full twist.
Well, he's a basketball player. This is his first year of football.
Is it really?
Yes, they recruit him off the basketball team, and there's proved what a fine athlete he is.
He certainly is. Good body control.
Hyde will kick off. So you look at Brian Desitels, who had 5 touchdown catches during the regular season. Now they'll squib it, hoping the clock will run out, and Steve Miller lets it go out of bounds.
Smart move by Miller. He gets the penalty anyway. 12 seconds now remaining in the first half of this game.
Well, Jack, you asked before what Coach Dupree might say to his team at halftime.
I think he just changed his speech.
And that there's what the doctor ordered.
Yes.
Hang in there, guys.
Get something positive.
I can't tell you, and Frank, you know, and Joe, you certainly do, how important that catch by Brian DeSaltis was, because he doesn't have to go in and tell them they can score against Cathedral. You can do it. They've done it.
That's right.
We just have to do it again and make some adjustments now. This team now certainly believes what they can do. 6'1", 210-pound senior, maybe with one of the more important catches he ever made for this football team.
Plus, I think they found something there. They found that they went back to some of their basic offensive plays, particularly their action passes, and they had great success with it. So it's something that they can build on in the second half and use more of their action game.
Ball back at the 35 with 12 seconds left. The clock did not move since it wasn't touched. 21-6 in favor of Cathedral. Hyde. Again, squibs it. Again, heading for the sidelines. But Murphy picks it up and steps out of bounds. Didn't realize how close to the sideline he was, perhaps. 8 seconds to go. Time for one play, because they'll probably just run it, you would think, with a 21-6 lead.
I don't know, Joe, because what he did there, he picked up that ball, took a look at the clock, and immediately touched his knee down. I think they're saving it for one more play, and I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see a deep pass being thrown by Cathedral now. Nothing in this game would surprise me the way this first half has gone.
It has been a wild one, just as the Division II game was a wild one with some very big plays.
Sure. Folks who have come to Springfield College today have seen some excellent football.
Now he's going to down it. Quarterback Rudy is to run out the clock.
Well, the worst thing that could happen to Cathedral at this point would be to throw the ball up, have Grennfield intercept, and return it for a touchdown, and talk about momentum changing.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's a smart move. They're up by 14 at the time, going at halftime, and start over the second half.
So the first half is history, a very exciting first half with some big plays here at Springfield College, where the Panthers play their home games during the regular season. They're right at home today. Cathedral 21 and Grennfield 6. We'll be back after this.
Working together, showing you how, helping you say it, doing it now. When there's work to be done, stories to tell, details to capture, nothing works faster. We are the answer. Nothing works like Polaroid. Nothing works like Polaroid. Catching an after, easing a fear, finding an answer, making it clear. When there's work to be done, stories to tell, feelings to capture, nothing works faster. We are the answer. Nothing works like Polaroid. Nothing works like Polaroid.
You're watching the MIAA Championship Television Series on Nesson.
We get ready for the second half here at frigid Springfield College, where the Cathedral Panthers have a 21-6 lead over the Green Wave. Coach Frank Truden is with us here from Northampton. Frank, your team could have easily been here, but you lost to Greenfield by one touchdown, huh?
Yes, that's the play that'll be played over in our minds all winter long. But it was a great game. Greenfield made a great play there, and that's why they're here. And I think they're going to come back here and play a real tough second half.
Now you see John Powers had made a great touchdown catch for the second Cathedral score. Now, the computer system is not used for the Division I Super Bowl opponents here. Frank, how does that work in Western Mass?
In Western Mass, Division I is done by who wins the championship is determined between the AA winner and the Suburban League winner. That was created because to allow for more interleague play, and so people would not have to worry about scheduling because of the rating system.
21-6 the score as you look at the Green Wave. It was 16 degrees at game time, colder than that now. How about playing on this artificial turf as opposed to a frozen grass surface, Coach? Which is better?
This is much better. It really lessens your chance for injury. Frozen turf, can really increase, I think, the chance for ankle, knee injuries, and plus getting bounced around when you're getting tackled.
Well, Cathedral with a 6-game win streak, Jack O'Neill, and Coach Bill Wise, kind of guy that he is, I'm sure, was on them a little bit at halftime.
I'm sure he was. He was not a happy man, I'll tell you that, when they scored that touchdown, when Greenfield scored the touchdown in the final minute of play. We spoke a little bit at the outset of the game as about Bill Wise and the history of the Wise family at Cathedral High School. His father was a longtime coach of Cathedral in football, basketball, and baseball. Coached some phenomenal athletes from the likes of Nick Bonicati and Joe Schiavelli, and really was known as a master and the dean of coaches in Western Massachusetts for quite some time in bringing the best out of young people. Bill played for his father at Cathedral, went to Purdue University as a quarterback, and as he said, he is the reason that Bob Greasy made it to the NFL, because Bill Wise Jr. was nice enough to sit on the bench and let Greasy play at Purdue for 4 years out in the Big Ten. So there's a lot of football in the family, and of course Bill Wise Jr. playing at Cathedral after coaching at Classical High School of Lynn for a number of years, then coming back to take over the program that he was once a player in.
Greenfield have the choice for the second half and will take the ball. Bill Wise Jr.
There he is as the team gets together for the second half of play, and I'm quite sure he told that team, look don't let them do anything in this second half. We're going to play like we're behind or it's a scoreless game. We've got to go out and replicate what we did in the first half or we're going to have problems. Bill Wise is a man who certainly believes in himself and in his team, but he is also a man who will never, ever underestimate the ability of an opponent, and he's certainly seen what Greenfield can do.
All right, the kickoff man has been Dustin Pino, number 15 with the ball. Cathedral, defending Division I Western Mass Super Bowl champs. Last year they beat Coach Frank Truden's team right here. Of course, this is their home turf. They play their regular season games here at Springfield College. Second half activity ready to go. 12-minute quarters here in Division I. 10 minutes in Division II in the western part of the state, as Mason and Phelps are deep. And Belhumer, the kick comes to the up man, Ciano. He crosses the 30, cuts up the middle, and drives to about the 38-yard line, where he's brought down. Looked like Aaron Hunter in on the stop.
Nice move by Ciano to bring that ball upfield. It was a relatively short kick by Cathedral, but he cut back up when he got to about the 30-yard line and gained another 8 yards. And the Green Wave cannot be unhappy with the position they're going to start the second half of this football game in. Yep. They're starting out about the 37-yard line. Plenty of room to move here.
They had just 8 yards rushing in the first half, and Coach, they'll have to establish a little bit more than that here.
Definitely. This is a key series here for them. First series offense is very important in the second half.
Belhumer bobbled it, but Phelps caught it, and Phelps gets back to about the line of scrimmage.
I've heard of razzle-dazzle, but let's not get crazy here.
That was a toss sweep to Phelps in motion, and what happened was the fullback was a little late getting out of his stance. Here's the replay. You can see where the 25 was a little late getting out of the way there.
Belhumer. So second down, he lost about half a yard. Conant is the quarterback. He and Phelps each played quarterback and wide receiver in the first half. Conant with play action, fires over the middle, and Desitels couldn't hang on. He really fired that ball hard at midfield.
He fired a bullet about 15 yards up the field, and Desitel was momentarily open on that play. Just couldn't get the completion made.
Marv Johnson in on the coverage.
Greenfield needs to do more of that. An action pass seems to make the short zones there of Cathedral wide open.
And when you work with play action, Coach Tudrin, what happens is you do freeze the defensive line for just a moment, and that buys you a little bit of time.
Definitely, especially if you have good execution in the backfield.
Phelps wide on the near side. They have a slot back, and they're setting up a screen. Conant flips it to Mark High, 45, 50, first down and more. He's over the 35, cutting to the outside. High with Johnson, evade, and Johnson brings him down with a good tackle, but he is down to around the 20-yard line of Cathedral. So a big 3rd and 11 play, and they call the screen, and it works, and Hyde with some great open field running.
Coach, what you said about execution, that was a perfectly executed screen pass right up the middle. The entire Cathedral line bid for it, and all of a sudden Hyde had the ball and 4 people in front of him and a long way to go.
He sets this up beautifully. Conant drifts back, gets rid of it just the right touch, and Cathedral is in a stunt. And then Hyde, who's an excellent runner anyways in his own right, is able to take it up the sideline.
1st and 10 at the 20. Phelps throwing on the move and incomplete. He trapped the ball. Phelps throwing for Desitels. Made a nice effort, but it was a little bit low.
Boy, whatever happened at halftime, Greenfield has come out as a very confident football team. They are executing pretty well, and they're knocking on the door right now. They put one in here. It's going to be a wild and woolly 3rd and 4th quarter of this football game.
All right, Jack, and they've come back again with the bootleg play. That's the play they scored with before.
So 2nd and 10 at the 20. Phelps wide to the near side. And a flanker to the left side. Cohen looking for Phelps. Throwing for him. He's open. He dives, and he came up with the ball. Good catch by Phelps inside the 5-yard line.
Kyle Phelps runs that corner pattern better than anybody. And he goes right to the ball here. It's a drop back pass. Phelps drives the man to the inside, then breaks to the outside.
And a fine throw by Brody Conant, the quarterback. Brody laying it out there very nicely.
And Phelps made sure he had that catch. He caught it with his hands, cradled it to his body, and Greenfield is in great shape.
Phelps, the MVP of the Suburban League this year. And here is a play-action fake, and he pops a pass into the end zone. Desitels didn't quite get it.
Powers broke that up very well, Joe. He came flying over as that ball was fluttering in the end zone, and Desitel looked like he was going to have it. But watch Powers come over after a good play-action fake. There's the ball fluttering. He might have it, but then he's whacked by Powers. Incomplete, 2nd down.
36 is enlisted in our program here.
Very good pressure applied by Mr. 36. 2nd and goal at the 5. Here's a quick action quarterback sneak. He's down to about the 2. Brody Conant going straight ahead. That play worked earlier for a 1st down.
Greenfield needs to do more of that, Joe, because the way the Cathedral defense is spreading real wide, and the quick hitter up the middle there is going to keep them honest.
So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 2.
Now Cathedral's in a goal line defense.
3rd and goal at the 2 out of the eye. With a wide out to either side. Here he is, Bellhumer driving, and he did not get in. So it'll be 4th and goal, 4th and less than a yard. 4th down, very close to a touchdown.
This is an off-tackle play. And the outside linebacker did a great job here for Cathedral. Fire right down. Number 33, John Rye was in there too.
Well, Cathedral's defense has been holding pretty well all day.
Here we
better
go.
do it right now.
4th and goal.
Everybody is on their feet in this stadium.
Power eye. Phelps is the quarterback. Gives off. Ciano. Touchdown. So Phelps out of the eye gave to Ciano, and he scores the touchdown. I think they might have been laying back a little bit for that quarterback sprint out or draw.
Well, they had Phelps at quarterback, and so they're probably, as you said, looking for the outside play. But they lined up in a wishbone off formation this time. 3 backs back there. They brought Ciano in, and it was a power play to the left. And Ciano just dove right in there.
So it is 21-12. And they want time to discuss this important 2-point conversion here. It really is a very important 2-point conversion, because if you don't make it, you need 2 scores to get ahead.
And there is the culmination of a drive that Greenfield very dearly needed. They picked up the ball at the beginning of the 2nd half, brought it downfield, and Ciano goes in for the touchdown. And this is a football game, and everybody is very interested in this next play, which will be, we assume, the 2-point conversion by Greenfield.
Well, it has to be. They haven't kicked an extra point all year, as we've been mentioning, but of course they need to go for 2 anyway after missing the first time. 21-12 is the score.
Alex Ciano has 4 yards rushing today, and they're all very important rushing yards. 6 feet, 200 pounds.
Coach Dupree has just called over number 88, Brian Desitels, tight end. He's got Phelps over there talking to him, Brony Conant, and Ciano. So you might want to watch number 88 here, the tight end on the coming across pattern.
7 2-point conversions for Phelps.
Well, that's when he runs the option down here, and he's really dangerous running the option. Because you can have somebody on him, and he can still fake him out.
And Phelps will be the quarterback.
And this is their option formation, Joe.
Wide outs to either side. It's a sneak, and Phelps is in. He called a quick counter and went in. Phelps, catching the defense back on its heels, goes straight ahead. The little guy at 5'8", 160 pounds, gets the 2-point conversion, and it's 21-14.
Cathedral was in there, field defense. They were concerned about the outside, the option again, and Phelps got up there and read the defense and snuck it right in there.
Well, for anyone who was wondering if this game was going to live up to the billing that they had of it the past 2 weeks, it is, and it has. Here's the 2-point conversion right up the middle. Good move by Phelps, good play calling and execution by the Green Wave of Greenfield. And as Joe mentioned, it's a 21-14 football game.
Still plenty of time to go. 9:12 left in the third quarter. It's a very fast drive.
Well, it's so important that first series in offense to establish yourself and to get some first downs. Now, you can take the ball down and score like this. This is really going to change momentum. You can see the whole difference in the way Greenfield comes out here. And there's a great series here coming up on offense for Cathedral and defense for Greenfield.
And it certainly got the Greenfield fans back in this football game.
Archive has squibbed most of his kickoffs. He lines this one to one of the up people. It looks like Miller. He bobbles the ball and goes up straight ahead and is piled up at about the 27-yard line. So it was 21-0 Cathedral. Now it's 21-14 Cathedral with plenty of time to go in this ball game. 9:03 left, third quarter.
The adjustment Greenfield made at offense in the second half appears to be where they've gone back to their basic offense. Now let's see what kind of adjustments that Cathedral has the second half here.
Well, the coach a little bit happier, although you'd never know it from his expression.
I certainly wouldn't at that time. What's going to be interesting to see is what kind of adjustments the Greenfield's made on defense, because don't forget, Cathedral has not touched the ball in the second half just yet, and if they can bring it down again, then we're going to have a wide-open shootout the rest of the day.
Rudy, the quarterback, 7 of 11, 130 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half, and here's Miller at 93 yards in the first half. Nothing here. Nothing here. Keith Poirier made the tackle.
With a little help from Mark Bernier in there. Good move shooting in from underneath by Poirier, and he made just a fine move.
Would you expect they'll stay pretty much with the power, Coach?
Well, that play sort of surprised me because they ran away from the tight end. Where they've had great success was when they run to the tight end.
They've been running a lot behind Aaron Hunter today. He's been lined up at a guard post rather than his normal tackle position.
Well, now he's got his 2 tight ends in there. Cameron's in there. Now we can look for the power play.
Here's the blast. Miller going off tackle, stacked up. Let's see, we had Kilgore in on the play.
Brian Desautel's coach. Brian Desautel, defensive end, fires in here low.
And Miller, for one of the few times that we've seen him when he was carrying the ball, looked somewhat uncertain of where he was going to go when he took the handoff. You can't do that against a team of the quality of Greenfield. Hit the hole and go.
Greenfield had a shutout this year. You see their defense was outstanding. So Miller's had 1 yard and 2 carries here, and it's 3rd and 9 at the 28. Man-to-man coverage on the outside, but the look-in goes to Miller. This the play went for a touchdown before. He's got a chance to break it. Conant chasing him. Penalty marker down. Penalty marker has been dropped. I think we had an illegal block as the tackle is made at the 14-yard line. But along the near side,
it looks like it's going to be against Greenfield. Excuse me, against Cathedral.
Right. There was a block thrown.
Personal foul, clipping.
I think they got number 80, Powers.
Cathedral caught Greenfield in the same blitz that they did on that touchdown to Miller in the past in his first half.
Here's the play again.
It would have covered 57 yards, but
Miller circles out the back front.
You can't imagine how wide open Miller is on this play.
Because the middle linebacker is stunted and the outside linebacker stunted as well. There's nobody there.
There's the flag being thrown.
Well, that's the play that went for the 24-yard touchdown to open the scoring. And The ball goes back to the
You see a defensive setup, but they see the stunts of everybody's
coming in, and out comes Miller right around them. And that's a great camera work and a perfect illustration of how that play developed.
Marked off from the spot of the foul, and Miller drives straight ahead for about 4 yards. Now they'll spot it back a yard at the 47. Is Poirier again in on the tackle. Keith's having a big second half. So it'll be second down and about 6 at the 47-yard line of Greenfield. What would have been a 57-yard play, pretty much cut in half by the clipping call. Again with the two tight ends. Miller breaks one tackle, cuts outside, and drives down to about the 42-yard line. So it'll set up about 3rd and 2.
That was a new formation for Cathedral. They went to an I wing and ran opposite of the wing, the off-tackle play.
Really, actually, you stepped out back a few ways. It's going to be 3rd and about 3.
So, 3rd down and about 2 for Coach Mark Dupree's club.
Mike looks a little concerned right now, and why not? Cathedral broke a big play against him, and they're setting up shop at about the 43-yard line at Greenfield right now. And Cathedral is still moving the ball against Greenfield.
Mike Dupree, as we mentioned earlier, predicted a Super Bowl win before this year began. There's the power eye with Miller driving over the 40, and he has the first down to about the 37-yard line.
Once again, Cathedral is going to the right side of that line with Hunter, Cowles, and the rest, and they seem to be doing the job for them now.
It's the off-tackle play to the right, as you said, and the backside guard pulling. There's a great hole there.
Miller's gone over the 100-yard mark, 106 yards in 22 carries for Steve Miller.
That's a young man that had 91 yards rushing in last year's Super Bowl game.
Here he goes again, driving across the 35 down to about the 32, a gain of about 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 5. He's going to be a tired, perhaps sore young man tonight.
This is beginning to be the type of football game that folks from Greenfield said it would. Greenfield is taking a number of chances on defense, and as we found out earlier, they can get burned with some of the stunts and some of the chances they're taking. And that man, Coach Bill Wise, is going to try to figure out just how to make sure he burns Greenfield one more time.
2nd down, a long 5, wide out to the top of your screen. As Miller again dances off tackle, breaks the tackle, driving, Phelps prevents the touchdown, bringing him down at the 18-yard line. Very strong power run by Miller, who outweighs Phelps by about 45 pounds.
The Green Wave learned a lesson right there that you're not going to tackle Miller by trying to get him up around the shoulder pads. They think they have him, he bounces off and then takes off, and it's Phelps that has him right around the waist and brings him down at about the 18-yard line.
This time, Joe Castro, number 51, and George Villanelle, number 78, had some excellent blocks up front.
Powers wide to the top of your screen. 2 tight ends in there, out of the eye. It's Miller going straight ahead, bottled up, but fights for a yard as he bounced off a couple of would-be tacklers. Poirier in on the stop.
In the second half, Cathedral's running a little bit more left than they did the first half.
You have to wonder about a guy like Miller if he ever gets tired. He's carried the ball a great deal today.
Well, their second tailback they've been using this year is Cedric Lee, and he's not even suited up today.
Yeah.
He had an eye injury at home.
Right.
2nd down, about 9 at the 17. Again, they have that tailback blast, and Miller fights but drives straight ahead to the 14. Miller driving ahead for about 3, so it'll be 3rd down, still about 5 or 6 to go for the first down. They got to get it just inside the 10, so about the 9. 3rd down, a long 5. 3:58 to go, 3rd quarter, 21-14 Cathedral, and they want to talk it over with Coach Bill Wise.
Mark Arudi had been on the sidelines for a moment talking to the coach, went back in, took a look at something and said, no, I want another bit of a conference with the coach, and immediately called a timeout.
Well, the big play has been going here well today for Cathedral. They've not tried one in the second half, although they did have that little slant in to Miller, who broke it and then had half the play negated by a penalty. Jack?
When is the best time to talk to your child about athletics and the use of mood-altering chemicals? Well, try talking together when there's no pressing problem. Let your child know what your expectations are and where the boundaries are in your family. And above all, keep talking together. This message is brought to you by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association.
And great to have Red Sox publicity director Josh Spofford here as our spotter, helping us with stats as well.
Not a bad job, Josh. Now you know why you like the summer game, I guess.
Well, this is the autumn game, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know anymore.
Winter.
Yes. 21-14. That's it.
3:53 left in the third quarter of a dandy football game. As you're looking at some of the cheerleaders of Greenfield High School on the far side of the field, and this place is packed. I'd say well over 1,000 people have come down from Greenfield, and they have been entertained this afternoon.
Tremendous support by that community for its high school football team. A very small school, Frank.
Right, they're one of the smallest schools in our conference, actually. They have less than 700 kids.
Third down, 6. 2 wideouts. Johnson and Brooks to the top of your screen. Ray and Miller behind Rudy, the quarterback, who gives to Miller, breaks a tackle, drives straight ahead, fights off another tackle and scores. What a run by Steve Miller.
Well, the Panthers gave him the hole to get the first down, and Steve Miller did the rest on his own. This kid is tough, and he knows how to keep running, and he has just given Cathedral a 27-14 lead with the extra point to come.
14 yards in the touchdown run by Miller. It puts him up over the 120-yard mark for the day. His second touchdown. The other one was on a reception. Miller does it all. He's even in on the kickoff teams. He's on the extra point team to block as well, as Pino will try it this time. Brooks made the first 3. Dustin Pino boots it and drills it through. 4 for 4 on the extra point attempts, and Cathedral has a 28-14 lead with 3:46 to go. And look at those numbers for Miller.
And he's still got a lot of time left in this football game. 144 yards, averaging 5.3 yards a carry in 27 attempts. He fits the title workhorse today for the Cathedral High School Panthers, who have now taken a 2-touchdown lead, 28-14. Here's the touchdown again. He's got the hole through the line in first down. Now he breaks off one tackle, makes a switch, gets hit again, keeps his balance, starts moving, hit a third time into the end zone for the touchdown. Power running by Steve Miller of Cathedral.
You can't hit Miller up top. He's just way too strong. You're going to see here when people come up to hit him, they're going to hit him up top, up in the shoulders. Arm tackle certainly. There's one. Great balance. Great leg drive here. Excellent run.
And he has 197 yards in total offense, 144 yards on the ground, and he's had 2 receptions for 53 yards and a touchdown on those little look-in passes from quarterback Rudy.
He certainly had quite a day, Joe. Quite a day for the young man.
Busy, too.
Yeah.
Pino to kick off. Bellhumer and Phelps are deep. Again, Greenfield with an uphill climb. Phelps wants it, has it at the 15. Got Bellhumer to block, finds one small seam, and gets a decent return.
There may be a late hit call here out of bounds.
Johnson in on the tackle. He was knocked out at the 37. See what the call is. We have an injured Green Wave player.
It looks like Phelps was down. He was just blasted as he crossed the out-of-bounds mark, and I couldn't see. Was there a penalty marker thrown?
I thought there was, but it doesn't appear to be.
Well, here's the replay again, and we'll take a look. And remember, in slow motion, tends to extend time a bit, but here's Phelps trying to get to the outside. He gets one block, cuts inside it. And here he is heading for the out-of-bounds mark, and you see there are 4 Cathedral
right there.
players. Yeah, there's the hit. He was going down one way, and he's hit as he was falling down, and that's enough to get your attention anywhere.
And he's limping off the field. Ciano comes in to replace him. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Greenfield down 28-14. It's 21-0 in the second quarter. Greenfield scored before half. Greenfield scored 8 quick points here in the third quarter, but Cathedral has come back. And time called by Cathedral. Apparently they saw something in the formation they didn't like. So Brody Conant, the quarterback, will go over and talk to Mike Dupree, his head coach. Bill Wise talking to his defensive team.
Well, certainly if you take this game in context of the halves, and there you see the portable heaters that Cathedral has brought to the game, these teams are playing pretty even in the second half. Greenfield got the ball, brought it down, put it in for a touchdown. Cathedral came right back, and we're winding down in the third quarter. But now Greenfield does have that 2-touchdown deficit that they have to make up. So they're looking very strongly at getting this ball down and letting their defensive coordinators work with the defense to try to stop the Cathedral rush, something they haven't been able to do. We'll take a look now at the touchdown run by Steve Miller, and this is just power all the way. He's got a line that got him the first down, and then as Greenfield tried to tackle him, and as Coach Tudrin pointed out, using arm tackles, it's not going to work until he's well into the end zone, and that gives Cathedral that 2-touchdown lead again, 28-14 with 3:39 remaining in the third quarter of this football game.
Greenfield, an explosive team, scoring 30 points or more 4 times this season. Greenfield unbeaten at 10-0, and they downed Springfield Cathedral at Greenfield 32-7 in September. Long time ago. Point winding Bell Humor to turn the corner. He does, and he drives up to around the 45-yard line. He's about 3 yards shy of the first down. The running game has been limited. Greenfield has made most of his yardage via the air. So the ball just shy of the 45, and it'll be second down and about 3 to go.
And Kyle Phelps is not back yet. He's still being attended to on the sidelines. This is going to really have an impact upon Greenfield's offense in terms of the plays they run.
That may be the understatement of the year, Frank. They need this guy out there.
He's running out to the near side, and Conant doesn't like what he sees and calls another time. And of course, you get 5.5, Coach, but when you're losing by 14 points, you'd like to hold them for the last 2 minutes.
Each team now has, 3 timeouts remaining, and they may come in very handy, as you say, Joe, toward the end of the game. But neither team has been very hesitant to call a timeout when they felt there was something wrong. And obviously that comes straight from the coaches. We don't want you to waste a play now. Come over and talk to us about it.
Well, I think the quarterback, Brody Conant, saw something in the defense. They had a play called, and Cathedral did not adjust to the wideouts the way they normally had. And I think he called a timeout because he didn't want to be in a bad play.
Wayne, this one's for you, win or lose. And we love you.
2:58 to go, third quarter. It's a 14-point Cathedral lead. Steve Miller, coach, looks like a man who probably has had a lot of interest from the college recruiters. He runs certainly hard enough and is big and strong enough to play in many colleges.
He certainly proved it today. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, and he's having a great day on defense.
All right, second down, 3.
Good look at the Cathedral High School cheerleaders doing one of their pyramid routines as we get back to action.
Conant running the option, cutting in, and looks like a first down.
That was a counter option. They faked the fullback one way and then went back to the tight end side. And Brody had a great run there.
Brody normally is more of a drop back passer with Phelps the option runner, but Phelps has been out after getting banged up on the kickoff return. First and 10 at its own 49 for the Green Wave. Now Phelps is back in there. Looks like he's limping slightly, but he's flanked out to the right side. Now he goes in motion to the short side of the field. Bell Humor crosses midfield, finds a seam. There he goes to the 40. He's got one man to beat. It's Johnson at the 10, the 5, and he's in. What a run. 51 yards for Mark Bellhumor, the 6', 185-pound senior, and he exploded.
That was a great call by the coaching staff. They've been running that fly motion and sweep to the weak side with Phelps all day. This time they faked that play and ran a counter trap back, and Bellhumor hit the seam, and he sprinted.
Phelps back in the game certainly got the attention of the Cathedral defense. And when he went into motion and Mark Bellemure got the ball and was breaking into the secondary, nobody was going to catch him. And the fans of the Green Wave are singing and dancing with the band this afternoon as the Green Wave has moved to 28-20, 2:19 remaining in the third quarter of a dandy football game.
On at the quarterback. Again, they'll be going for two, as they always do.
He brings to the line. Does Conant.
Conant calls the signals. They ran a sneak last time with a 2-point attempt. Here's Bellemure going off tackle now, sprinting for the outside, turns the corner, and it's good. Bellemure with good speed and a nice run sliding along the line of scrimmage and turning the corner to make it 28-22.
And you watching this game had a perfect angle on that from our end zone camera. All he did was pick his way down the line. When he saw he had a shot into the end zone, he took off. Here's the touchdown play again. Bellemure has the ball. Everybody was watching Phelps. He breaks into the secondary, gets one block, and he is off and gone and just turns it on. Only one player has an opportunity to get him. That is Marv Johnson. He just can't get him. Gives him a shove, but he stays in bounds. It is a touchdown for Greenfield.
Now let's watch the 2-point conversion. Bellemure, who had little opportunity to run in the first half, does a super job here of stringing out the play and turning the corner.
He read that defense well, Joe. That was an off-tackle play, and he bounced it to the outside.
In 8 regular season games this year, Cathedral allowed 50 points. 32 were scored by Greenfield. No one else has scored more than 6. And as you see, the Green Wave with 22 points, including 16 in this third quarter.
All these records are right out the window this afternoon in this game.
Hyde, his kick short hop picked up by Murphy, and he's over the 30 and stacked up. Well, 28-22 as we watch Mark Bellemure off the great fake by Brody Cohen.
We have seen some excellent football played here today, and here's just another play to put on the highlights reel coming out of Springfield College and Cathedral and Greenfield today. Bellemure with that run has really brought his team right into the game. The last gasp effort of Marv Johnson to push him out of bounds, and then the body control to go in, and it is a 28-22 football game.
The defense must find a way to stop Steve Miller, who has the ball. No, he doesn't. It's Garudi faked it to him and cuts outside, but doesn't go very far.
Big hit by Max Honig there.
It sure was.
I don't know if that was by design or it was a busted play in a part of Cathedral. We missed a handoff.
Garudi normally does not sprint out like that.
He looked like he was sort of in an unusual position as he was coming toward the near sideline, Frank.
He gained about 3 yards, second down, 7.
All right, Rudy now fingers to the line. Second down, 60.
Now they're in more of a pro set here. Rudy looking for Powers, or Murphy rather, makes the catch, but Phelps turns it in, and it's a very short gain. Good defense by Phelps.
Yes, this time they got a little bit more tighter than they've been in the first half here, and they took away that quick out. First half, they were about 7-8 yards off. This time, he's only about 3 or 4 yards deep, so when he does complete the pass, see the receiver is right there. You get only about a 2 or 3 yard gain.
Well, Garudi has a word with Coach Wise, and back he goes with a third down, and still about 6 to go for a first down. Play picked up only about a yard. Powers coming wide to the near side. Murphy out to the left side, an I formation behind quarterback Mark Garudi. Here's Miller improvising and being stacked up. Conant made the tackle. It looked like he had some running room, but Conant closed it down quickly, holding Miller to about a 3 yard gain, and it's a punting situation.
Joe, I think you're right. Brody, if he didn't grab him then, they certainly would have gotten first down yardage. Watch the play develop. Miller heads outside. Conant has him, and you look, you don't see anybody found further outside. It was Conant or nobody, and Greenfield's going to get the ball back.
Well, Cathedral's only had the punt once today. Whittier standing back at his own 25. Phelps is in single safety. He's returned 2 punts for touchdowns this year. I'll tell you what a dimension he gives Greenfield. You can see why he was the Suburban League's MVP. He makes things happen. Not too much of a rush. It pops up the kick. And let's see how it bounces. It goes east-west on the bounce, and Springfield covers it at the 44.
It's about a 19-yard punt.
The wind really is not a factor. At least the flag is pretty still.
Now, there's really not much wind out there. It was just one of those high, very short kicks.
The fans are thankful for that because
Yes.
it would be brutal, the wind chill today.
The wind chill would be well below zero. And there's Mike Dupree on the sideline in the white jacket.
And it looks like a little
it's
snow.
snowing.
Yep. It started.
Well, for once, well, not for once, but the meteorologists were right. They said late in the afternoon.
18 seconds left, third quarter. There's that same play that went for a touchdown. This time Sayano carries and is dropped after gaining about a yard at the 46-yard line. Aaron Hunter, big number 56, made the tackle.
You're looking at Tony Capua of Cathedral, one of their centers who displays a nose guard on the line. He's put in a pretty busy day for the Panthers.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter. 3 quarters of football have been played in this most exciting Division I Western Division Championship game. The score, the Cathedral Panthers 28, the Greenfield Green Wave 22. We'll be right back.
I realized something when I started Sullivan Tire many years ago. It wasn't enough to offer the best parts and tires. My customers expected more. They wanted to walk into a Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Center and be helped with personal family service.
At any of our locations, you will be treated with our family spirit, because that's what Sullivan Tire is all about.
The Goodyear Arriva, now on sale starting as low as $39.95.
You're watching the MIAA Championship Television Series on Nesson.
We've had 36 sensational minutes of football, still 12 more to go. And, of course, there is a tie-breaking overtime system should this game end in a tie after 4 quarters. Second down, 9. 28-22, Greenfield trailing, and Conant wants to throw the bomb. Looking for Phelps, and he had a hand on it but couldn't hang on. John Powers may have deflected it as well. Number 80 moving into the play. Ian McCullum, number 10, also in on the coverage.
I don't know if it was deflected at all, but Phelps should not be too upset with himself because he had a body that just broke his vision in watching this play. You see, with the jump, he just didn't see the ball until it was on top of him, and it was just too late. That could have been a big one right there for the Green Wave of Greenfield.
3rd and 9 for Greenfield. Greenfield at its own 46. Green Wave was outscored the Panthers in the second half, 16-7. Cathedral has played ball control and also had the big play. Phelps in motion. Conant rolling and throwing on the move. He's got a man open. Desert tells, but it is knocked down. Good coverage by Murphy on the far sideline. He couldn't get as much on the throw as he wanted, Coach, as he was off balance throwing.
Yeah, he didn't have time to... The receiver needed to be hit a little bit sooner than he did here. He starts scrambling, and right there, now he's a little off balance. Still gets a good pass off. It's deep. It's just a little wide.
4th and 9. Hyde is the punter, and he's had 2 very good punts, which were not returned. 1 for 43, 1 for 42 yards. High snap, but he does well to get it and fights off the charge by Cameron, but he pops the kick up. And it takes a Springfield Cathedral bounce, now goes the other way on this turf and will go inside the 40 to about the 39. Well, not great in terms of yardage, as that would went about 15 yards. So Cathedral has it at its own 39.
Here's the high snap that you see. He does well to get that, and he sees the rush coming, so he's just going to get it out of there, which was a wise move at the time. And here you get a much better angle. As you look on the right side of your screen, you'll see the rush coming in at him, and he just gets that punt away. So Cathedral is setting up shop on the 39-yard line. 11:31 remaining in the 4th quarter of this football game. Cathedral is leading by 6 points, 28-22, and the Panthers have the football. And yes, it is exciting.
with his 29th carry. And he breaks it into the secondary to the 50. He's on his way to the races. And Keith Miller has gone 61 yards for a touchdown. Keith Miller.
This is just a basic off-tackle play.
Go to the right side of the Panthers line. And
we have a clip. We have a clip. There was a clip, and
again, it's brought back.
These are the kind of plays that drive a coach nuts.
Because Miller was wide open. He already had the touchdown.
He was already in zone, and then someone throws a block 20 yards behind him.
Wipes out a 61-yard
It would have been a 61-yard touchdown, which would have put Miller over the 200-yard mark on the ground.
Boy, I tell you, going to the right side of that Panther line is like money in the bank today. There's the personal foul call, clipping against the Cathedral. Maybe we'll get to see it. Cowles, Hunter, and the gang open up a hole for Miller, and here he's pretty much off right now.
The clip's going to happen behind the play here.
Now, apparently we're not going to be able to see it, but it wouldn't have mattered. He would have been gone by then.
He was gone.
And the touchdown is called back.
So they'll put it in play as it marked off from the spot of the foul at the 40, where it's 1st and 10. 1st and 10 at the Green Wave 40. And who else has the ball but Miller? Steve Miller driving for about a couple of yards inside the 40.
This is Cathedral's power attack. They go to a double tight with the power eye, and they're looking to run inside and off tackle.
And ideally, what Coach Bill Wise would like to do is put a sustained attack together, drive it into the end zone, and take about 5 to 6 minutes off the clock. We're taking a look in, and there's a little bit of a push. I don't know if that was the penalty. It may have been number 51, Joe Castro of Cathedral, with the push. I don't know if that was the call or not.
Miller again on 2nd and 8, and met some resistance and then tried to slide outside, but is dropped. So a short gain. Tackle made by Jason Kilgore. What about that turf now, Coach?
Well, it's definitely going to become a factor. The snow's been falling for a while here, and it's getting a little bit slippery.
3rd down 8.
And just to let you know, nobody's left yet.
Not with this one. A thriller, 28-22, Cathedral on top. Again, the power eye, 2 tight ends. They fake to Miller, play action. He's looking for Powers, and it is incomplete. Powers had a step momentarily, but he was closed down. So it'll be 4th down and 7.
And Cathedral, which had a touchdown just moments ago, is going to be in a situation now where it looks like they're going to give the ball back to Greenfield, and Greenfield is going to be in a position where they will have the ball and the opportunity to tie or take the lead in this football game for the first time since Cathedral's first touchdown.
It's 4th down and 7 at the 37. Whittier is the punter, but he looks like he's going to line up at tight end. This is going to try to draw him offside here. 4th and 7. Whitty's going to throw. He pump fakes. Now looks for Powers again. And it is incomplete. Good coverage by Poirier downfield. He tried that play early in the game, and it nearly worked. This time pass a little short.
It's what they call a hitch and go. He did a short hitch on the outside there. He pump fakes it. The receiver goes deep, and Poirier stayed right with him, had good position on the inside.
Well thrown football, just a well done play on all accounts, and good defense kept it from becoming a long gainer for Cathedral.
Well,
there's the defensive play.
Instead of pinning them deep in their own territory with a punt, and of course, Coach Wise may figure it's tough to snap, it's tough to feel the snap with these frigid weather conditions, and now Phelps calls timeout. He was lined up at quarterback with Conant at a wideout, and Phelps did not like what he saw on defense and called time.
Well, that was a good call by Coach Wise. At that point, as you said, with the way the weather is, if it was intercepted, the ball would have been down inside the 10-yard line anyways. It'd be just as good as a punt. And he's figuring, too, that they were playing for him to get the first down, the short hitch. Instead, they faked it and went deep.
Well, as it gets slippery, and keep in mind that Cathedral outweighs Greenfield in the line by over 30 pounds on the average per man, will the slippery conditions tend to hurt Greenfield more with their quickness?
Yes, it could neutralize the quickness. But another thing to consider, too, is that they tend to feel like this. Receivers, if they can drive a defender to one way and change direction a little, they can get the defender slipping.
Coach Bill Wise, having talked to his team, sends them back out onto the field. Greenfield setting up shop on their 37-yard line in the fourth quarter of this football game. And for both coaches, this is a time when they can feel that basketball growing in their stomach, can't they, Frank? You've been here once or twice.
Oh, yeah.
9:51 to play. First and 10 at its own 37 for the Green Wave.
First down 10. Greenfield. At their own 37.
And Phelps again is the quarterback, and he runs that sneak and picks up about 3. It's the third time that Greenfield has used that play. It went for a touchdown on a fourth down play earlier, and also for a 2-point conversion.
That's just to keep him honest inside there. Cathedral starting to get a little wide in the defense again.
Pull the trigger here.
Second down, 7.
I think they have to. They need the big play.
Well, Greenfield was coming into this game to play like riverboat gamblers, and they certainly have so far, so they could pull most anything out of their bag of tricks right now.
Owen looking, wants Phelps, but fires short, and it is caught by Zigron, who's out of bounds. He got the first down. Little Matt Zronik makes the catch, the 5'5", 135-pounder.
And it was a nice catch by Matt. He just extended himself. As you can see, the rollout by Connett.
This is a great pass.
Right there. Boom. He's got the ball, cradles it, goes down, and as you can see, as we get those shots from the field, Matt is 5'5", 135-pound junior, 16 years old, and you can see the snow is starting to accumulate a little bit on the Springfield College turf.
Greenfield in midfield. Here's a reverse back to the quarterback. Got him throwing long for Desertels, and it is picked off by Murphy. Well, that play did not fool the secondary as Murphy and McCullum had double coverage, and Murphy made the interception.
There was double coverage, you're right, Joe, all the way around. Cameron was out there, I believe, with Murphy, and there was no problem at all for Cathedral covering that pass.
But a fun play, some good ball handling. Bellhumor to Phelps and back to Conant.
Nice play to watch, but once it was thrown, he never really had much of a chance to make that completion. Great interception. Body control and good control of the hands, and Cathedral now has the ball back.
He really didn't have any other options, did he, Coach? Nobody else was out in the pass pattern.
That's right. It was a one-man pattern, and this is a basic part of Greenfield offense. They love the reverse and the reverse pass.
So
Keith Murphy, the 5'11", 175-pounder.
Starting from the 16, and Miller breaks a tackle and manages to get a couple of yards when he could have lost a few. So Miller with yet another carry. That is his 32nd carry.
Oh.
Got 172 yards.
I think the young man will sleep well tonight, Mr. Castiglione.
He's also had 2 receptions for 53 yards.
And we're about 8:30 away from the end of the fourth quarter of this football game. And Cathedral has the lead and the ball. And they'd like to keep both for another 8.5 minutes.
Second and 9. Giroudi, the quarterback, gives to Miller. Driving off tackle over the 20-yard line.
Greenfield has shifted their defense this quarter here. They've gone to what looks like a 51 defense. They've covered the center and put a middle linebacker behind them as opposed to that 4-4. And I think this is why Cathedral's made their mind up. They're going to run off tackle.
Third down and about 5 to go. So if the Green Wave can hold here, they can get the ball back in what should be decent field position.
I would think you're right, Joe. Field position for Greenfield would be very good if they can hold Cathedral right now, but that's a big if.
2 tight ends, power formation. Miller driving off tackle and breaks 1 tackle, and he has a first down. Second effort by Steve Miller, doing it with individual effort and getting the first down.
You can't say enough about Miller. And the offensive line of Cathedral certainly is giving him a hole, but once he gets to it and once he's through it, it's individual effort like this that is making Steve Miller an unbelievable name as far as playing football this afternoon. Great move by Miller.
He does outweigh many of the linebackers and even some of the linemen.
We can see that surge here.
205. Here he is again, driving over the 30.
You're right, Joe. You could see that on the previous play. When Alex Ciano hit him, Ciano did everything right. He had his shoulder into him, and he was hitting him low, and Miller just got off him and gained another 3-4 yards. 238 yards rushing and receiving, and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad day.
That's some team's offense.
Yeah.
185 yards now on the ground for Miller. 35 carries. Here's carry number 36. And he drives over the 35. And he's up to about the 36-yard line.
Cathedral's changed their formation this time. They went to what is an end over. It's an unbalanced formation.
So it'll be a 3rd down and still about 3 to go.
Clock moving with 6 minutes, 20 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
Will they go with their 2 tight end alignment here, Coach?
Yes.
It looks like they are. They brought Cameron in. Whittier's in there at tight end. They've got their power back.
3rd down, 3. Miller awaiting. He has it on the pitch. Driving close. Spins. Gets the 1st down again. At the 45-yard line. Miller picking up 9. Very tough yards.
Oh. I mean, Cathedral basically is telling Greenfield what they're doing. We're going to give the ball to Miller, and we're going to run right. They do, and they still get it, thanks in a large part to a great individual effort. Here's the hit, and watch the spin. Spins away from 2 Greenfield players, picks up a couple of more yards. 1st down, Cathedral, 5:45 remaining in this football game, and Cathedral is eating up yardage and the clock.
Phelps hit him first, but again, Phelps is outweighed by about 45 pounds. Miller straight ahead and spinning for 3 tough yards. Well, they're all tough, but
yeah, they are.
I'll tell you, this size advantage of the Cathedral is really paying some dividends right now.
I think you're right, Joe. Just in the running game and trying for a ball control offense, this is what's going on. Steve Miller saying up until today, that was the highlight of his career, that 91 yards he gained in the Super Bowl last year. Well, I think it's going to change, and he'll have some more fond memories of the Super Bowl if his team can hold the lead this afternoon.
2nd down and about 7 at its own 47 for Cathedral with 4:54 to go.
There's this unbalanced look again.
Miller
running right.
Is stacked up this time, gained maybe a yard. He's got 198 yards unofficially.
That Greenfield defense, we called them a rubber band defense earlier in the game, Joe. And they're doing it again. They're bending, but they're not going to break. And again, they're giving Cathedral fits in a 3rd down and 5 play. Watch the pursuit here. You see Conant in there and a number of others as they make the play and set up a 3rd down and maybe about 7 yards, actually, for Cathedral.
4:20 left. 2 timeouts for Greenfield, 3 left for Cathedral. 28-22.
There's an anxious
Cathedral
Mike
on
Dupree.
top. Mike Dupree says, tackle Miller here instead. Rudy will throw deep for Miller, and he makes the catch. And he goes out of bounds. Miller with an outstanding play against Ronick, who had his back to the play, and Miller made a nice catch on the move.
And there's a look of frustration on Coach Mike Dupuis. I don't think he can believe that Cathedral went for that kind of a play on a 3rd and 7. We were talking about Greenfield being a bunch of riverboat gamblers. Look at this play. There's the pass.
Kevin Murphy, great catch.
And there's Murphy. Good catch. And here's the reaction of Coach Dupuis. He can't believe it.
Ball is at the 16-yard line. 1st and 10, Cathedral. Miller has it, and he's tripped up. Tripped up by Conant, who got him around the ankles. And thus it's a short gain because he had some running room in front.
It's snowing harder now, and the clock is moving at 3:35 remaining in the 4th quarter. And Cathedral is down about the 15-yard line.
Just over the 15. The yard marker is pretty well obliterated by the snow cover. 3:24 to go. 2nd down. About 9 to go. Garudi with a big day, 193 yards and 3 first-half touchdown strikes. Two tight end formation. Miller driving off tackle, fighting off another tackle and driving close to the 10. Well, he was stopped, but he did it again.
I can't believe this late in the fourth quarter, a kid like Miller, even though he is bigger than some of the linebackers he's facing, still has the stamina and the drive to be breaking tackles like that, Frank. It's quite an athlete.
He's over the 200-yard mark now, 201
He's got
yards.
tremendous strength here and power. And you're right. I thought he'd be tiring by now, but he's just as strong as he was in the first half.
Yeah, we made the comment in the third quarter. We thought he was getting tired, and then he broke that 61-yarder.
Major play here, 3rd and 5 at the 10. Of course, Cathedral does have 2 field goal kickers. Here's Miller, and stacked up, turns it on, and breaks a tackle and gets close to the end zone. Oh, they had him behind. They could have created a 4th down situation.
I think they've got him out at about the 3 or 4 yard line, Joe. We'll wait for the spot on that.
He's got a 1st down. That's the most important thing. Again, Greenfield looked like they had him stopped, but could not contain Steve Miller. 2:20 to go. They're at the 1, just shy of the end zone.
And they have to think, what do we have to do to stop this guy? He just runs right into one of his own men. That's Lloyd Cameron, bounces off him, and he's down at about the 4 yard line.
Who else? Miller driving. And he is in there. Steve Miller with his 3rd touchdown, and that makes it 34-22 with 2:01 to go.
Give the young man a hand. He's had quite a football game. Steve Miller from Cathedral High School in Springfield, scoring another touchdown to give his team a 34-22 lead. 2:01 remaining in the extra point to come.
And just as impressive as the yard total, the number of carries, 43.
Oh.
And add to that, 2 catches for 53 yards and a touchdown. He's run for 2. He scored 1. He has been just unstoppable. 34-22, so it's a 12-point differential. Imagine they'd try to go for 2 here to get it up to a 14-point spread.
I think that's why they're talking about it right now.
Let's watch Miller.
You can see the snow coming down at
great line
College
surge
now, but look at this.
Great line surge up front. They just knocked them back.
And it's been that way all day. The fullback, Ray, is blocked very well.
Look at 56, Aaron Hunter in there.
And if this Cathedral team is a young team and it was supposed to be rebuilding this year, the chances are a year from now we could be seeing them back in this Super Bowl.
Well, they've been here 2 straight years, winning it last year, beating Coach Frank Truden's team of Northampton. And instead they will kick, and it's Pino. I wonder if Brooks was hurt. We've not seen Brooks in the second half. He kicked the 3 extra points and caught a very nice touchdown pass. The second score. Pino boots it and drills it through. So it is 35-22, a 13-point spread with 2:01 to play. The odds are slim, but hey, the way this one's gone.
Yeah. The Cathedral Panther is dancing right now, but the way this is going, you're right, Joe. Especially with the snow that's on the field now, most anything can happen on a kickoff and on a return, and this game is far from over.
That last drive there, Joe, they used that right side again. The third quarter, they ran left. In the fourth quarter here, they ran right, and they just marched right down.
Following Anthony Capo and Aaron Hunter. So, Greenfield has come back. They were down 21-0. At one point got to within 6 at 28-22, but now they trail by 13. And Pino will kick off as the snow falling a little bit harder here on the Springfield College campus. What a great ball game this has been. Some tremendous individual efforts.
And these are the type of ball games you don't have to wait to a Super Bowl to enjoy. They're played most every Saturday and Friday night in the fall. And get out and see one sometime soon.
With his 91 yards last year on the ground, in 2 years of Super Bowl play, Miller has gained over 300 yards. 301 yards for the senior Steve Miller. 2-year total, 301 yards, 4th on the all-time Massachusetts Super Bowl list. That's not for one game, but for combined career totals. Bellhumer can't handle the kickoff, slips, and his knee did not touch. He drives ahead on the snow-covered field. I would guess around the 20-yard line.
Now it's getting tough to tell where the lines are.
Somewhere in the neighborhood there, Joe.
Deep in their own territory.
Yes.
1:53
We have a Greenfield
to play.
player down. Can't get his number here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Bellhumer or not, the man who carried the ball, but it is very, very tough out there on the turf. It is Bellhumer,
25.
but he's all right. Well, it's tough that somebody has to come up short on the score in this one because it's been a great effort by both schools and a very entertaining game.
It certainly has been. And actually, when we talk about rushing, Miller may be up in some very interesting company for a single game. Remember, Don Page of Swampscott in one game rushed for 251 yards. That's back in 1972.
Phelps has his pass deflected. It was intended for Desitals. Johnson into the coverage, and 31 Marvin Johnson has done some fine job of coverage and also tackling in the secondary.
Certainly has. Short guy, but he's got some speed on him.
And so is Powers.
Good job. Yes, Powers has been a pretty good two-way player for everybody, for Cathedral today.
You know, you take away those two clips on which Miller had the long gainers, and he would have had over 300 yards in total offense by now.
See, 1:46 remaining in the fourth quarter of this game. And Greenfield, I'm sure, will probably fill the air with footballs right now as the snow continues to fall here at Benedum Field on the campus of Springfield College.
At their own 22 with a 2nd and 10. Phelps in motion. Brody Conant throwing over the middle, and Desitals can't come up with it.
Nice tip in there, I think.
Murphy, right.
Kevin Murphy again.
I think Murphy
21.
got his hands on it.
He got the gloves on it. Everybody wearing gloves here except for Conant. Phelps, the other quarterback, threw a touchdown pass with gloves on earlier. So 3rd down, 10, 1:40 left to play.
Tell you, Kevin Murphy, number 21, has come on here and has made some great plays on defense and made that great catch on offense.
Yes, he has.
Cedric Lee, not even dressed. He was a starter, and Murphy's done a good job in his stead. Phelps in motion, so 3 wideouts flood the near side of the field. Ray chasing Conant, gets it off, and it's dropped. Hyde had his hands on it, but he didn't have far to run anyway. Cameron was bearing down on the would-be receiver.
I think Mark made one of the cardinal mistakes in football where he thought he was going to catch the ball and looked where he was going to run, and in the interim of all of that, what basically happened was he dropped the football. Brings up a 4th down on the part of Greenfield, and the Green Wave have a bit of a problem right now.
Yeah, they got to go for it at their own 22 with only 1:31 to play.
They're going to talk it over a bit, Joe. They've called a timeout, which means Greenfield now has, I believe, 2 timeouts remaining in this football game.
Coach, it looks like most of the players that came equipped with the turf shoes today, and not a problem even with the snow.
Right. I think in their first game, a lot of the players wore sneakers, and they had trouble.
Right.
But in this game here, Greenfield and Cathedral, most of the players, it appears, are wearing the turf shoes, and they've had much better traction.
Does this game surprise you with the number of big plays?
No, because both teams have some fine, outstanding athletes, and athletes make great plays on offense. You need great athletes to have a great offense, and both teams have that. You got Miller for Cathedral, and what a day he's had. And then on the other side, Phelps, Desitals, and Brody Conant have had a good day.
Well, again, 32-7, Greenfield beat the Cathedral when they met in the regular season in September, but that was a much different Cathedral team, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. It was early in the year, and some changes were made.
Coach Wise did not have his full complement. Aaron Hunter was not eligible.
You think Coach Wise thinks he's got this game won? Not quite.
He may think so, but he's not going to let the kids think so. Right, Coach?
That's right.
4th and 10. Last-ditch chance here. Conant in trouble, now getting it away, and it is caught.
Great catch.
Real nice catch.
Who else but Phelps, the MVP of the Suburban League, making an outstanding catch. So the clock stops where the chains are moved. 1:24 to go. One timeout left for Greenfield. But they need 2 scores. And at least and 1 2-point conversion.
And they've hurried right up to the line to get this next play off. And the clock begins moving at 1:22.
Conant looking. Wants the long pass, and it is in and out of the hands of Phelps. Incomplete. Sronig running appeared to be a post pattern. Looked open momentarily, but he went over the middle of Phelps.
Well, they're doing the right thing. They're trying to hit the medium range passes because Cathedral is dropping off everybody. They're only rushing 4 people at this point. I think if Greenfield tries to go deep, they're going to have trouble. But if they hit that medium and short pass, they're going to have some room to run in.
And you might get lucky and make a cut on somebody. And with a snow-covered field, you may be able to take one in.
That's a good point, Jack.
2nd and 10, 1:14 to play. Conant firing. Desitels with a catch. And he is over the 45, down to about the 43. And I think they threw a flag. I think
it might be a face mask.
Cathedral.
It might be a face mask call against Cathedral, which would certainly get Greenfield a lot closer. They're about the 47-yard line right now of Cathedral. That's going to move them to around the 30-yard line.
1:05 to play, and
this face mask happening into this play. Pass over the middle again, the medium range.
Greenfield should be calling have a play all set so they don't have to use a timeout here while they move the sticks.
There it is right there.
There it is. He had his hand on it.
There's
so it's
a lack of concentration, I think, on his part to do that.
1st and 10 at the Springfield 39. Conant firing. Phelps drops it. Now he tried to run before he caught it.
And he knows what he did. Just that look on his body language told you everything you needed to know about that play.
I think he was prepared to try to get out of bounds, saving that last time out. 58 seconds to play at the 39-yard line of Cathedral.
Our coverage of the Massachusetts High School Super Bowls continues right here on Nesson following this game. At 5, the Central Mass Division III Super Bowl pits Bay Path against Northbridge. At 7 o'clock, Super Bowl hopes of Division II Central opponents North Middlesex and Air are going to be on the line. And at 9, our Super Bowl coverage winds up with the Central Mass Division I Championship between Leominster and Westboro. Don't miss all the action right here on Nesson.
High just ran a draw play, and it gets about 8 yards. They stopped the clock, calling their last time out with 52 seconds to play. It's 3rd down and about 2 to 3 yards. 52 seconds left.
And if you take a look at the field, you'll know why Joe and I are saying 2, maybe 3 yards to go for a first down. And there's a gentleman, Mike Dupuis, who almost made his prediction come true. It's certainly not over yet. But before the season started, he was predicting a Super Bowl win. And it looks like he's going to be going home without that Super Bowl win that he wanted so desperately at the beginning of the season.
Greenfield's had a great season. They went regular season undefeated, and they played a great game today. They're fighting right down to the last tick on the clock.
They really did. And that's one of the tough parts about this, Frank, as you well know. I mean, you've got a football team that only lost 1 game this year, and somebody said tough year, huh, Coach?
That's right.
You had a very good year. So did Greenfield and any of these teams that are playing so well. They have had some excellent years, and I'm sure that's what Mike will be telling the troops on the way back to Greenfield tonight.
The ball is at the 32-yard line of Cathedral. 3rd down, 3 for Greenfield. They trail by 13, but most important, the time factor, 52 seconds and no timeouts. Brody Conant wants to throw. His receiver, Phelps, stumbled, so he throws the other way along the sidelines, incomplete. He looked for Phelps, but he stumbled. So it'll be 4th down with 45 seconds left.
And now the field is becoming very difficult for traction. Whether you're wearing boots, turf shoes, sneakers, or anything else, it's going to be very difficult. You mentioned, Joe, that Phelps fell when he was going out on that route or slipped, and that left Conant absolutely nothing you could throw to, and he just kind of dumped the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, Greenfield fighting gamely.
Our first break in the post game will be
a lot of offense in this one. And some critical defensive plays, too. Overall, the offenses have dominated, but there's been some outstanding individual play defensively.
Remember, early in this football game, in the first quarter into the second quarter, Cathedral had Greenfield bottled up very well to get that 21-0 lead. And without it, that could have been a very different story today, because Greenfield certainly came firing back in the second half of this football game.
Scoreboard has it up there as third down. Well, there was a penalty on the play. That's what happened, setting it back. Third and about 12. Conan throwing, and Bellhumer couldn't hang on. It's incomplete. So that'll make it fourth down with 38 seconds left. And Greenfield with one more shot. Well, Cathedral looks like it's going to win back-to-back Division I championships. Would have been 3 out of 4, Frank, except for your Northampton team.
That's right, in '86. That was a great game, too. That came down in the last seconds.
You beat them, and they beat you here last year. Steve Miller at 91 yards last year, 210 yards today. 4th and 12, the ball back at the 44-yard line. 42-yard line. Conant firing, and Desertels is bumped. Did they call the flag? I think they did.
Yes,
I think they called pass interference, and that would make it a first down. 31 seconds left.
Now, they shouldn't move the chains here because it's not a spot fall. Here he is. Conant's going to try to hit Brian Desertels on the right.
31
there
seconds
it is.
left.
There you see the bump right there by McCullum. Ian McCullum of Cathedral. And once again, the Green Wave are going to retain possession of the ball, we think.
In any event, this is one of those yogi games.
Yeah. It ain't over till it's over. One of the Cathedral staff looking out over the snow-swept field of Benedum Field.
It's a very fine, powdery type snow here.
Well, the Cathedral staff's upset because they did move the chains, and it's a spot fall. So now the question is, where were the chains before?
Yes.
Especially tough to tell today.
And there you see one of the most popular areas of Benedum Field today, the portable heater, with some of the Cathedral reserves and the cheerleaders gathered around it in the purple capes.
Well, it is a first down, and they move the chains, and that will put the ball at about the 24-yard line. 31 seconds left, but no timeouts. Phelps is now in there at quarterback. He wants Desertels. He's got a step, and he's got it for the touchdown.
That's the same thing.
24 seconds left.
Well.
But let's see if he was in. One official called touchdown, and Murphy thought he took it away. But is he in or not? It's very hard to tell. Yeah, it is a touchdown. Yep. Official's not sure where the goal line is. It could be.
No, he's saying now.
First down.
First down.
He just signaled first down.
He did. Well.
And don't forget, because this is a multiple-use facility, when you get down near what would be the goal line of football here, you could be hitting the soccer boxes for the goalies or something else.
They told them move the clocks. They haven't started it yet. Now they do. They've got to score quickly on this play. Phelps tries to go underneath, and does he get in? Clock is moving.
15
16,
seconds.
15.
You see it on your screen.
10 seconds left. They can't stop it. They can't stop it. They pile up on the field. It's still 35-22. Now they stop the clock as they have not unpiled.
I can't believe they didn't give him the touchdown, right? No.
It's an official timeout right now to spot the ball.
Well, the scoreboard has it up there as 35-28, but that was not a touchdown.
No.
All right, in 2 seconds, 1 second, Conant throws to Phelps, and he's in for a touchdown, but time has expired. That makes it 35-28, and some tempers flaring on the far side. It is a touchdown now, but with the ball not called a touchdown in the first play, they lost chance for an onside kick. See if they...
And there's no time left on the clock.
They'll go for the extra points if they can. And it's just a matter of what the final score would be.
And that's just one for the record book now. There's Miller heading off the field. He had a pretty productive day, I'd say.
210 yards on the ground. They'll go for 2. And this will end the season. And again, the Desitels thought he was in the end zone, and most people did, including one of the officials. He signaled touchdown.
Yes, he did.
With 24 seconds left, but then the other official, with a snow-covered field, marked it inside the 1.
They just pulled Miller away from a verbal match with one of the Greenfield players, and you see one of his teammates, Keith Murphy, just saying, put your helmet on and be quiet. We've got the game won. We have nothing to worry about.
Well, let's see if they're going to bother with the extra point or not.
Apparently, it is over. They're not going for the extra point.
Well, the officials don't want anything, I guess,
to
transpire.
There's no time on the clock, and I'm surprised they let it go this long. Usually
that's true.
They just say it's over.
Well, just to prevent any extracurricular activities more than anything. So that'll make the final score. Springfield Cathedral 35 as Bill Wise is carried off on the shoulders of his team. Greenfield 28. What a thrilling ball game, gentlemen.
It certainly was. And if you tuned in midway through the second quarter and it was 21-0, we told you don't go away. This one's far from over. And certainly it turned out to be one of the more entertaining games you would see on this Super Bowl Saturday anywhere throughout Massachusetts. Springfield's Cathedral High School is the Western Mass Division I state champion with a 35-28 victory over Greenfield.
Billy Wise, and there he is, Steve Miller, 43 carries, 210 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 on a 24-yard pass reception. He had 2 catches for 53 yards, and he had 2 long runs nearly negated by penalties. Actually, 1 on a long pass, which was cut in half by a penalty, and another on a run that was shortened by a clip. 301 total yards rushing in 2 Super Bowls, 4th in the all-time list for the Cathedral Panthers' Steve Miller. Again, the final, 35-28. Cathedral is the Division I Western Mass champ.
Offering the utmost in quality and friendly, personalized service is the family spirit that Sullivan Tire is all about. Why is providing the best in tires and car care so important to Sullivan Tire?
Because I'm Bob Sullivan, and I want it that way.
The Goodyear Arriva, now on sale starting as low as $39.95.
Today's game has been brought to you in part by Sullivan Tire Family Car Care Centers, who are proud to be part of this MIAA Championship Series, because hometown spirit is what Sullivan Tire is all about. Our final score, Springfield Cathedral 35, Greenfield 28.
This is Nesson, your New England Sports Network.
Christmas came early this year to Coach Joe Alcaro and the Hoosick Valley Hurricanes. When the regular season ended, the Hurricanes were on the outside looking in on the Super Bowl.